Got you.
All right. Okay. It seems. Okay. Cool. 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 Now is the moment of truth, man. We're gonna see if RoboBR is making a comeback. All right, bro. You have the floor.
And if he is, you're racist. But what's up, guys? Hope you guys are doing well on this. What is it? It's this fine Sunday afternoon. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you guys are doing good. As always, we're punctual, on time, never known to be late.
Mm-hmm.
So we appreciate you guys showing up with that in mind.
Yeah, you know
Thank you.
how other podcasts have technical difficulties? We have technical easies. And I realize they haven't given me feedback on if your voice sounds normal or not. So I'm gonna knock wood, bro.
It
Oh
probably
my
does. I'm gonna
god,
be
that was
honest, bro.
so
I got,
cocky. That was so cocky. I can't believe I opened with that. Whoa. Okay, my bad.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, what up, chat? What up, chat? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Hope y'all are doing all right. Hope y'all are doing good. But yeah. Yeah, let's see.
Oh, some small updates, guys. I don't know if you saw the community tab post. Since BR and I dropped Orhidoro last week, we did sort of field your guys' requests for series for the next Honored Ones book club poll for members to vote on. We already have one of the choices narrowed down. We're gonna get the last three finalists in there, and the poll should be up. I think either tonight or tomorrow. So that's the update on that.
Yep. It should be fun. Hopefully, we'll have series that we can rock with the whole way through
Yeah,
moving
or
forward. But
like
yeah,
hate enough to talk about.
I'm gonna hope to rock with the next series. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna really put my chips into liking the manga that we read personally.
Damn,
I know you like to hate. I know you like to hate.
somebody's
But
greedy.
I think this go around is I just want to like manga. A little crazy, but I do want to like manga.
Ooh, it's just a
Also,
little.
real quick. I just
Mm.
want to say this for chat. If you say anything about Dragon Ball past the end of the Namek saga, I will ban you. Sorry. I've
Word.
been waiting for Liv to read Dragon Ball
Oh,
forever, and I swear to God, if you spoil it, you'll never speak in here again.
wait.
Sorry.
I thought Liv
Um,
only didn't read the original Dragon Ball.
don't shut up. Don't even you spoiled her on Hunter x Hunter. Don't even mention Dragon Ball. I don't
What?
trust you,
I
brother.
thought. Wait, Liv, did you not read Z?
No, stop. Yeah, no, she hasn't read anything relating to Dragon Ball. She hasn't read Dragon Ball at
Oh.
all in any capacity.
Oh.
Brother, sorry. When we go for the non-spoiler episodes, we somehow get to spoilers and it's me. So I don't trust you to not spoil about Dragon Ball. Simply be silent. Thank you.
Uh huh.
At least in regards to Dragon Ball. You can speak otherwise. You know, I'm not like you. I don't tell people not to talk.
Uh huh.
Um,
Uh huh. Uh-huh.
time to load up an alt is crazy. But anyways, um, yeah, I no JJK today. Obviously, you
Mm.
guys know what it is. But you know, we do have a couple of interesting chapters today. I don't think did Blue Lock drop anything? I didn't see a Blue Lock chapter.
I didn't see it either.
I didn't see.
Um.
All right, let me check. Let
I.
me check. Make sure I'm not stupid. Let's see. Oh no, yeah, no Blue Lock chapter. That's good. That's good. Well, nah, that's actually horrible, but it just means I didn't miss it. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. That's good.
Let's
Um,
see. Let's see, bro. My hero dropped a chapter, and it was neat. It was neat to see Bakugo, do his thing. Horikoshi cooked art wise and panel wise. Actually, he cooked like doubly. He gave Bakugo two crazy ass double spreads, man. This is some wild art right here. Wild art feat.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like we obviously always talk about like, oh, praising Horikoshi for art is kind of like it's whatever, you know what I mean? Very vapid sort of praise. But I mean, he gave let's see, one, two, three, four, five, like just ridiculous art showings in my opinion, like pretty large spreads that are or just like great pages that are pretty ridiculous. I'm gonna be honest. Um I'm like, damn, brother. I feel like I almost feel like someone just said his art's overrated or something. He heard that shit and took it the wrong way. Cause like obviously he always draws well. Duh, he's Horikoshi, great artist. But I'm like, there's something. There feels like there's something to prove when when Baka goes like really barraging all for one with those explosions. I'm like, nah, that feels like there's some vitriol in there. That's all I'm gonna say, brother. That's all I'm gonna say. Like that was That was something powerful. That was something potent. That was something potent. Um,
Mm,
but yeah, I mean, I like the chapter. I thought it was cool.
me too.
Bakugo got his comeuppance and whatnot.
Mm.
You know, really reinforcing. Yeah, it's the collective effort. And hopefully this means that we'll be able to jump into Deku versus Shigaraki, and Horikoshi can like really give it its full attention, right? Because All for One's going to neutralize, as far as I'm concerned. Bakugo's probably incapacitated because the way his arm was bending back looked wild.
Wild, yeah. This is
All
a
Might's
yeah,
obviously cooked.
bro. None of these get
And
nobody on screen is at full health except maybe the civilians. Like even then, man,
yeah,
everybody's running on fumes. So I just thought that was cool, despite all that.
yeah. So very cool, very cool, very cool. Um, People are saying Blue Lock was insane this week. Where? Hold on. Now I got to double check, bro. I went to my typical very legal website to read Blue Lock.
Also,
Um,
Baron. Thank you for the two. Which is better, waffles or pancakes? I like waffles more. The shapes, I don't know, like the little pockets that capture the syrup, they're really amusing. Plus, the crunch sounds really nice. I'm sure for I know it sounds Jesus, dude, this sounds neurodivergent as hell. Me describing why waffles are better. I just like waffles because they give a better sensory experience, but they taste like, 80 to 90% as good as pancakes. So it just gets it over the line for me personally.
um, Ross games aren't translated. Okay, that makes sense. You'll just reading leaks and whatnot. Okay, makes sense. Um, yeah. Let's see. Pancakes or waffles? I could give a lame answer and say they're basically the same in terms of like quality because pancakes taste a little better than waffles. Like you said, they're more ergonomic.
Mm,
I mean, I just eat pancakes more, so I'll say that. I'll say I like pancakes more. I just eat pancakes more frequently. I don't have a waffle maker,
mm.
so making pancakes is like a significantly easier task.
It is. I think that's like the one thing that bothers me about waffles is that you have to get a specific tool to make them, and like
Yeah.
it just sort of has to
I
exist.
think it's very
Yeah,
arrogant. I think
yeah,
it's very arrogant of waffles. Like
like
okay, you're good, but
yeah, uh,
you're saying your appliance good,
yeah, like
exclusive appliance good.
yeah, and that's the thing that bothers
That's
me,
a
right?
little.
Because like, bro, I can get frozen waffles and put it into a toaster, right? I can justify you in a toaster, but like,
Mhm.
bro, have you seen the size of some of these big ass waffle makers that they sell now? They're so like, they're such a headache to store. My friend bought
I
one.
mean, I haven't really been on the waffle maker market recently, but I can imagine.
So my friend bought one like a year ago. I think it was like for like a Black Friday sale or something. I think he got it for it was like 100 something dollars, and it was like on sale, and it was like massive, right? It was one of those like turn it over on both sides, like really like a good waffle
Like
maker,
a
right?
hotel waffle
Yeah,
maker.
right. And I swear he's used that thing maybe 5 times.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it's kind of hard. Like you have to really be a waffle head
Yeah.
to make full use of a waffle
Like
maker.
it's got to
You
be
know
a
what I mean?
mainstay, right, to justify. Also, cleaning them is a pain in the ass. My God, like, because like no matter how careful you are with the portions, there's always gonna be the mixture that goes a little bit over and like gets burned on the edge or just goes like onto your countertop. Like waffles for me are like a good waffle is really good, right? And I can justify eating waffles on savory dishes like with chicken or something, but like man, do they like waffles get the best restaurant buff IMO. Like it's
Yeah,
if you're not the
yeah.
one making them at home, then they get like a bigger buff.
That's. I mean, I think that's fair. I think I'd also agree. Um, yeah, waffles just like I made pancakes today, right? I could not make waffles today if I wanted to. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like you said, Dreams. There's frozen waffles, but there's frozen pancakes too. Like it's
yeah.
just like you can get damn near anything frozen, but when it comes to like making the thing, it's not really doable.
Mm,
Not really doable.
yeah. Okay. C Miller, thank you for the £5. How did Kareems avoid the allegations for asking Ronan if he's in prison for drinking room temp water? Hey man, first of all, thank you for the five. Second of all, why are you preying on my downfall? Like, what's going on?
I mean, like it's just bold to assume he got away with shit. I'm gonna be honest. But
I mean, that's
you know, I
nuts, bro.
appreciate your concern, you good citizen. I really do appreciate the concern. It shows that your heart's in the right place. But no, he didn't get away with anything. I'm actually um in contact with the local authorities, getting him up out of here as we speak. But yeah, no, he didn't get away with it. Don't worry. Compiling the evidence for his, like, you know, his infinite, you know, crimes against humanity and, you know, specific groups of people. So it is what it is.
Let's see.
But yeah,
But before you read that next super chat, Liv, I get it. You know, it's not like a thing that's like without fail for me. I just, you know, I get a little eager, right? And I always overpour. You know, I'm trying my best. Damn it! All right, you don't have to like kill my. I'm trying my best. Waffle portions are hard. I don't know. I'm bad at eyeballing amounts, I think. Um,
damn, bro, you just admitted to being an inferior chef. That's crazy. Anyways, sorry. I just thought that was like something you took pride in.
Cam
I guess I
Cobain,
figured
thank
wrong.
you for the 5. I would love to see powerful sorcerers from different countries, especially China and India.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's where we all thought
Yeah.
JJK was going at some point. Um, Maybe not. I don't know. Like Giga could write it in there, but I think the scope of the series would have to increase dramatically again, um,
Um.
in order for something like that to even happen. Um,
I
but
think
yeah, I mean, it would be cool.
I
Hmm.
I think it would be cool. I don't know if I. Okay, when Horikoshi did something similar, right, with like the other countries, you know, top guys, they're always localized. If you catch my drift, to
They're
like
always what?
localized, like aesthetically. Like I remember, was it the guy from India or like some other Middle Eastern country? He looked like Anubis or something. Like that was his the guy, like the guy with the flat abilities. Like he could turn into like flat Stanley.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't
okay.
like I don't know if I want to see like if they're just like guys from other countries with new powers or something. I think I'd like that. But if they're just like a guy from India who has like 1,000 arms, I'm just gonna I'm gonna be giving Gege a side eye. I feel
Like I get what you're getting at,
like
right? But
it's not
like
even like
we have Japanese curse spirits
I
that
know
are literally just like folklore. Like I would listen if he didn't do that with like if he didn't do that with the Japanese characters, right?
right.
If he didn't literally give these guys abilities from like that shit, sure. But like these motherfuckers will do hand signs for shit and it'll be like, oh, that's stolen from the ancient Japanese myth of blah blah blah.
Right.
And it's like doing the same thing but with other sources for the other countries. To me, that's the whole fucking appeal, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I
no,
want
no,
to
no.
see how like
It would.
Indian culture and history has like formed sorcerers in an entirely unique way than like Japanese ones or like
Yeah, yeah,
American
no, no.
ones
But
and blah blah blah
that's
blah blah.
like the culture of practicing with cursed energy. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the techniques themselves. You know, like if
The
some
techniques themselves would be informed by those things, no?
maybe, but I like yes and no. Like how do I say this? I don't not want that. I just don't want it to be only that. If that makes sense, right? Like it can't be
Sure.
like if all like Indian sorcerers have variations of those abilities or something, um, instead of just like one like, damn, does not one of you control fire? Like what's going on? You know, I don't know. Just I think Gege like there's a way to do it. Um, I don't think Gege is going to be bad at it. You know, he doesn't have a history of being necessarily awful with that. He doesn't really have a history of being good with it either, though. Like he just
He
yeah
doesn't do it.
yeah. So
It's one
remains
of
to
those.
be seen.
And the thing is with Horikoshi, right? Like he doesn't do it either. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you mentioned the Anubis thing, but like, okay, what about Star? She's a fucking American flag. Like
I mean, her
the
power is
like
like
we only if we
colonialism, man. Like you know, like, it's
yeah. So but like to me that like entirely makes sense, right? That's the that's the vibe, bro. Like that's the fucking like yeah. They're informed by the fucking like society that they take place in and shit. I don't know. I think especially for something like curse techniques or curse spirits and shit like that. Like I'm not saying make caricatures out of them, but to sort of just like make like to do nothing different with them, but just say, hey, these guys are in every way, shape, and form the same guys we've been seeing, but I just say they're from India.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like just don't do the concept then. That seems boring, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know, man. I like yeah.
Okay. I mean,
My
hey,
cur- I'm from America. My cursing would be Shikigami with
with
guns. Yeah,
guns.
that shit sounds hard.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I guess I'm more amicable to that than like knee jerk reactions would lead me to believe. So that's cool. That is cool.
Yeah. Let's see. Jaden3011, thank you for the 5. A sudden stream. BR, I don't know if you saw my tweet to you, but how do you feel about what could have been Kashimo potential wise? I mean, no, I didn't see the tweet by the way, to answer that question. As for Kashimo potential, I mean it's kind of hard to tell. Like you can definitely probably do a lot with him. I haven't put a lot of thinking into that. The big thing though is just like I stick to this even as someone that feels like kind of disappointed with his showings, but Kashimo with his technique is just like one of the strongest characters we've seen in the series. You know what I mean? He just so happened to go up against the strongest character we've seen in the series. Um, so like I don't necessarily. It's not that I don't. Okay, to a lesser extent, right? It feels very much sort of like being like what would Gojo's full potential be like just because he lost to Sukuna.
Mm.
Whereas my thinking is like it's not even so much that he didn't reach his full potential. It's just more so that his full potential wasn't Sukuna. You know what I mean? Like I said, you can definitely probably do a lot with Kashimo in the sense that you start like demonstrating what he can do at his full potential. Maybe that's more what you mean, like rather than like giving more of it to him, just talking about what that could have been if he fought for longer. And if you're framing it like that, then that makes sense.
Mm.
But
I
yeah,
mean, I don't know if this necessarily counts as a Gojo full potential idea, but I would be curious about a Gojo if he knew about Sukuna's barrierless domain going into it video, you know? Because like to me
yeah.
that's still one of my biggest sore spots about the fight. And I do wonder what kind of difference having that knowledge and a month to prepare for it would mean for Gojo. I don't know. Like it's a I don't know if it would necessarily change the outcome of the fight, but I do feel it would change a lot. Like maybe Sukuna would have gone a lot harder. Maybe he would have used open. Who knows? Like the unexpected, surprise factor was used on the barrierless domain clash part. So there is a part of me that's like, there's probably a timeline where Gojo pushed Sukuna a lot more. I think that's it.
I don't know. I feel like Gojo can only come to the same solutions he sort of had prior, if that makes sense, right? Like he would just come to those conclusions earlier, and then they both end up brain dead anyways, right? Um, Sort of like I guess I'm trying to think of like, whereas if Gojo could have continued using his domain longer, yeah, maybe,
Mm,
but like I don't know. I feel like okay, if they keep clashing, they keep going even, right? They keep breaking their brains, they keep regenerating it, et cetera, et cetera. You know, all that happens is that like instead of Sukuna being convinced that he could use his domain, he'll just know that he couldn't. Like,
mm,
because like the only reason Sukuna thinks that is because he's done the domain breaking bullshit less. But if Sukuna just does it an equal amount of times to Gojo, instead of having like that arrogant speech, he'll just be like, "Well, guess I gotta throw hands with you now." You know what I
mm.
mean? And then it'll just kind of start from there. I almost don't feel like much of the fight. Like, don't get me wrong, I still stand by the belief that Gojo should have been told, right?
Yeah.
Because that's just like shit you tell somebody. However, I don't know if knowing how the fight plays out specifically, it particularly changes the overall outcome.
I
But
yeah. I mean, I agree. I think most like for the most part, the only part where I feel different. Oh God, maybe there's a part of me that's like, okay, would it have been more satisfying to see Sukuna go into his Hainen era form, use open, and then Gojo has like a more not even climactic death, but like a damn bro, you pushed me to my final form kind of death, because as it stands, dying necessarily. Would you say Megan is the one who defeated Gojo, or like because Sukuna finished him off with his innate technique, right? That was
I'm
like,
so tired of like making this distinction. I see it all the time in like comments and shit like that,
mm,
where on the like it's Sukuna, man. Like okay, would you say the prison realm is why Gojo was able to clash with Sukuna? Like, yeah, but that's fucking Gojo. Like
I get
you
it, yeah.
took the you took your circumstances and you cooked. Like,
Mm.
listen, if you're mad about him taking the body, don't get me wrong, me too, because the body is also happens to be my fucking goat. Like, I'm not happy about it, right? But like also get the fuck over it. It's one of his abilities. It would be like getting mad. Oh, bro, Gojo adapted by being in prison realm. So him being able to clash with Sukuna doesn't count. What are you talking about? Like what utter nonsense are you spouting? That doesn't even like make sense. It's like was he in Megumi's body when he did it? Yes. Was it because of the 10 shadows? Partially. Yes. But why did he have the 10 shadows, right? It didn't fall in his lap.
No,
He
no, no,
took
no,
it. That's
no.
what happened.
That's
You
not.
know what I mean?
But that's not the argument I'm necessarily making, right? I'm like Gege chose to end Gojo with Sukuna's innate ability, right? Like that was the final blow. It wasn't, Maharaga's knife. It wasn't, Divine Dog piercing him. It was Sukuna's slash ultimately, right? So
Mm.
I've always interpreted that to mean that Gege wanted to like really emphasize that not only is Sukuna, not a fraud or whatever, to the extent that Gege would know to frame it like that, but like
Mm.
Sukuna himself is capable of beating Gojo without Megumi, right? Like that's the point that I extracted from Gojo dying with that slash, right? Um
Mm.
so to me it's like, okay, if Sukuna himself is the guy, like is capable of not only beating Gojo but getting past his infinity and doing it with his own innate technique, it would have been really cool, to me personally, if he just committed like extra hard and just had Sukuna go into his like Heian Nera form, and just like really, I don't know, go over the finish line, so to speak, with that messaging. So because
I
like
guess.
I don't know, there's maybe a part of me that feels like his forearm form is like stronger. Assuming you say he loses the 10 shadows when he fully reincarnates. Um, and I don't know. There's something funny about, no 10 shadows user has ever beaten a 6 eyes user, and that streak continues even if it's Sukuna. There's something funny about that profoundly to me. Um,
Mm.
and having it like be that Gojo having pushed Sukuna to his like final form, and then everything else carries over like normal. Just it wouldn't change anything really about the story's beats, but it would add a little. It would be nice to me personally as like a Gojo fan, like slash story enjoyer. That's it. Just like a creature comfort.
I get you, but I almost feel like you can do more with I don't know. I mean, I feel like because here's the way I'd kind of amend both sort of ideas,
Mm,
right? Here's what I'd say.
mm,
Like, even if Sukuna was not strong enough to beat Gojo without the 10 shadows,
mm-hmm.
he purposefully evolved himself to a point where he is, right? Because no, I don't think anyone's really willing to debate, like, if, and I hope not at least, right? If this Sukuna, the Sukuna we're seeing right now, fought Gojo, he would beat him. I'm not going to say low diff, but like, however difficult you think it was for Sukuna, right? If you think it was like the most extreme diff, it is 1,000,000% easier to fight Gojo like this now than it was before because
Mm,
all of his slashes can hit Gojo. All of them are strong enough to cut him, etc., etc. So like,
right,
let's just assume Gojo's like fucking an idiot, right?
right.
Let's say he's wrong in saying that Sukuna could have beaten you if he never had the 10 shadows.
Mm-hmm.
That may have been the case before, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just as Gojo obtained like sort of new perspectives on sorcery and shit post prison realm,
Mm-hmm.
Sukuna obtained new perspectives on sorcery post the limitless, right? And
Right.
I feel like the point of having Sukuna gain that form after fighting Gojo, right? Like after it, I could be making like this could be a typical writing the story for gay type shit, right? Like people say like I've seen that meme a lot, right?
Mm,
It's good. You could kind of categorize it that as you want, but this is kind of how I interpret it, right?
mm,
Now that you ask that question, it's sort of like okay, Gojo gained what he wanted, right? And
mm,
Sukuna gained what he wanted. More power and satisfaction, right?
right.
Like but he gained that, and then we get like a visual representation of that immediately following. Like Sukuna versus Kashimo is like, here, watch what I just learned, buddy.
Right.
Like what like we see what Gojo gained, right? We see that satisfaction in death. We see him like really happy, right?
Hmm.
Almost to be defeated. That's what he gained, right? He gained all of those things. Sukuna then follows up. Kashimo's here, and he's like, oh, let me show you what I got from this fight, right?
Right. Right.
So that's how I see it. Like, and if you have Sukuna transform in the midst of the fight, it becomes a little bit harder to visually signify what Sukuna gained.
Mm, I
You know
got
what I
you.
mean? By leaving that form, you're able to not only like thematically sort of say they both gained something from this encounter, right? But like Sukuna literally did acquire some new level of power, which is like the world slashing attacks or whatever.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair. Sheer lethality. Thank you for the two. American special grade cursed spirit Paul Bunyan. That would,
That should be kind of hard.
yeah,
Can I be honest?
yeah, no. The axe would be nuts. Probably it'd probably be something like dismantle and cleaves effects, or maybe
Yeah.
something like the festering life sword. I don't know. Some
Huh.
category of that. Let's see.
Yeah. That'd be pretty cool.
R89, thank you for being a member for 5 months. If Jujutsu Kaisen was a longer series that included the entire world, would the power scaling be higher? Loki wish JJK wasn't a weak series. Like you mean the versus week? I don't, I,
Yeah.
I, I don't doubt that. I
Don't
think
lie, brother. Oh, I thought you were gonna say the verse isn't weak. I was like, don't lie, please
no, no,
don't.
no, no. It is.
Um,
It just objectively is, right? That's not what I was thinking. I was thinking like maybe they'd be stronger if they were able to sharpen their knives, so to speak, across the entire world. Like the relative ceiling would be a lot higher. There'd be more gojos. But I definitely think Sukuna would still be at the top of the food chain, just with more at his disposal because he has like the rest of the world to learn from.
I will say, I think by making the sort of setting of the world or the setting of the universe be larger, Gege would probably force himself into like more like my hero situations where you have like statements from some like weather woman in America saying like holy shit man, the fucking like there's this weird like oncoming tropical storm, and the reason is just like Todoroki and Dabi are having a brotherly fight, you
Right?
know what I
Yeah.
mean? I think you can make use of larger environments. It's like take Dragon Ball for example. Like okay, the entire world is encompassed in like as more parts of the Dragon Ball universe get utilized, these characters also start filling up that world with their power,
Mm,
right? First it's cities, then it's countries, then it's like Nappa lifting his finger and you see a blast in the fucking sky, right? So
mm,
it's like it's shit like that. So I do think the verse would be stronger. I don't think they're like Dragon Ball or maybe even like Naruto, but I do think that they probably get closer to the like My Hero tier where you're seeing a Hollow Purple, not Scar Shinjuku,
mm.
right? But maybe you're seeing it Scar Japan,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, I definitely think it's a case
Hmm.
of like the general thing being so contained and almost unrefined, or unchallenged by the rest of the world means that it's inherently limited in its scope. Um, so that's my theory. Let's see. And 3D, thank you for
Yeah.
the 5. Yo, BR, you mind humoring me? I saw your latest vid, but I think how the Black Flash amp works is called into question. Read my chats after this super chat. While you do that, I'm
Let's
gonna
see
be right back, bro. I gotta take an ill one.
Okay. Let's see. The Black Flash amp seems nebulous after the Gojo fight. Bro's brain was leaking, but the Black Flash amp pretty much undid any nerfs he'd have from having taken damage. I think that leads credence to the idea that maybe the 120% potential line for Mahito just could have been taken fully at face value, and they were operating beyond what they could have done at full health despite their injuries. Um, Oh, this is also disregarding Gojo still not using domains after Black Flash. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, and I think that's sort of I think what a Black Flash does, right? Obviously, it puts you in the zone, um, but like it allows you to sort of it just raises the floor, in my opinion, right? So like, or rather, it raises your ceiling. So Gojo was suffering from like low cursed energy output that entire time because of like the domain clash, and he had just been fighting for a long time. So the black flashes are continuously amping him. One thing that I think is kind of important to note though is like, whereas Mahito, Yuji, and Toto at that point in the fight had only landed one black flash, right? I think if I'm remembering correctly, in 235, the narrator refers to like, yeah, a second black flash and Satoru Gojo's voltage ramps up, right? Not to say the first one was insignificant, right? But the continued exposure to that is raising that ceiling for him even more, right? So if you were to say, a black flash can raise your potential to 120%, maybe the second one isn't as great, but it keeps helping you improve, right? So that lowered output that Gojo had before, it just keeps going up. It keeps going up. And then he lands another one, right? And then he lands another one. And then he pulls out red and blue to use like unlimited hollow purple and whatnot. Which I think makes sense. Like I think that's why he's able to heal so quickly, whereas before he wasn't able to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I mean I do think black flashes basically give you access to like levels of focus and like cursed energy manipulation that you don't usually have. And in Gojo's case, like his brain's still fucked up. Don't know if that'll ever even be fixed for these characters. However, his cursed energy manipulation is going to continuously spike because of the multiple black flashes landed consecutively. So that's kind of my take on it. Hope that answers your question though. Jado, thank you for the 10. If Sukuna can damage the soul like with Inumaki, Angel, and Mahito, does that mean Sukuna purposely didn't target Gojo's soul when he got hit with Malevolent Shrine? Sukuna didn't care he was tanking it. So, I mean, there are kind of two ways you can. I mean, there are probably more than two ways, but here are the two ways that immediately came to mind when you asked that question. The first, right, is that Sukuna either, like you mentioned, turns on and off like soul-based attacks, or subconsciously does so, sort of like Yuji, because Yuji doesn't always attack someone's soul. If he did, he probably would like hurt people a lot quicker, right? Like punching someone like Chose will probably just fucking kill them in their initial fight because he's punching the soul. So it seems to be maybe potentially a subconscious thing or Sukuna choosing to go like the domain route and attack physically. But maybe you think that's unlikely because, Sukuna holding back that much maybe seems a little crazy. You could also just say like this is kind of an assumption. This is kind of an assumption I make and a lot of people in the fan base have made because of Mahito's specific what's the word I'm looking for? Like dialogue surrounding auto transfiguration and RCT. But it could just be the case that like slashes that cut the soul can be healed, or damage that hits the soul can be healed. The reason auto transfiguration can't be healed with RCT is because the changing of the body isn't like the violent reconstruction of like your outward physical construction and probably your internal organs and shit is greater than that of like what anybody with RCT can reverse or even fix, or like sort of like with poison, what is reverse curse technique even fixing, right? Is it putting you back the way you were? Is it blah blah blah? Is it just healing the physical damage, et cetera, et cetera? Um, so it may be the case where even like Sukuna slashes should typically be able to be healed. Maybe with Inumaki and Angel. I don't know. That then that does leave kind of the issue of like why aren't they healed? Maybe it's just it took too long. Maybe Yuta's positive output isn't as potent as it is when he's just using it for himself, like to regrow limbs or whatever. Maybe it's been too long since they took damage because obviously Inumaki got hurt in Shibuya and probably wasn't attended to for a while. And Angel got like her arm bitten off and then like thrown off a building and some shit. So maybe she didn't get attended to quickly enough. That could definitely be the case, but it's really hard to tell because it's left pretty ambiguous. Um, so, because like obviously I don't think Shoko could heal that sort of limb damage, or at least she's never given any credence to that idea. But Yuta definitely should be able to, or at least based on what we've seen, you would think Yuta should be able to.
My
So it's a tough fucking shell to crack, I guess.
man, I'll never forget the Shoko Ieri. Why doesn't she heal this meme? And it's like Nanami's torso
I'm gonna
being
be
blown off, bro. Like,
Okay, can I talk to you about something? Because obviously we don't have a fucking chapter to talk about, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
let me
Hey, hey, bro.
think it's like quite interesting,
Okay.
huh?
You cut out for
What?
like a millisecond.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay.
Um, so I was talking to Liv about this, right? But there seems to be like, I think here's the premise, right? Healers in Battle Shonen are very hard to make compelling without like draining stakes. And the two examples I'll use are like Mimosa and Shoko, two completely opposite ends of the spectrum healing wise. Characters that typically kind of overcompensate for the problems the other one has, right? If you guys aren't familiar with Black Clover, Mimosa can just heal basically fucking anything,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like that's
Anything.
simply put, she's really, really good at fucking healing,
Yep.
right? I don't want any Black Clover fans coming in here saying, well, she couldn't heal this. I get it. She can't heal some things, especially when she's out of mana. I get that, right? But generally speaking, the level of damage she can heal is absurd, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say this. For all intents and purposes, Mimosa, in terms of being a healer, is fucking amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's the Yuno of healers,
Yep.
right? Crazy shit. But the problem is you have moments where you have shit like she's healing damage that you wish she didn't, if that makes sense. Like, that was a really great way to end the character. It would
Nope.
really suck if they got healed
Yep.
immediately after. Like immediately after.
Immediately,
Like
bro. And Mimosa's being like,
like
man, it would be, man. Imagine he just died if I wasn't so good at healing. Thank God I'm here.
exactly. Yeah, like okay, imagine Nobara gets boom, boom, it's by Mahito. Seconds later, instead of Nida, it's Mimosa. Nobara's back up. She's better than ever, right? It's sort of like
Damn.
cool. Like in
Thank you,
terms of being a
Mimosa.
healer, you're great.
God, no scar.
Yeah.
No scar.
But it's just
even.
like it exactly. It takes away some of the stakes, right? It eliminates some of that. Now, and that's kind of like, okay, when you're a great healer, that's the problem we have. But when you're not a great healer, like Shoko, right? You run into the problem of kind of begging the question of what the fuck do you even do? Right? Like, chat, creams,
BR.
go ahead and give me a couple of characters Shoko has ever saved their life, right? Like without Shoko specifically, they'd be dead.
uh,
Like, and I'm not. It's not shit. Like, by the way, I'm not saying Shoko's a bad character. Shoko's not enough of a character for me to deem her as bad, right? But like, just like once again, she heals people. There are plenty of people she's healed and helped recover, right? Plenty of people. But think about the amount of people that would like die or be permanently incapacitated in a way that they aren't because of her, right? Angel doesn't have one of her arms still.
mm,
Inumaki doesn't have one of his arms still, right? So she didn't heal either of those,
mm,
right? She's not like a battlefield medic. She's not like making sure that motherfuckers don't waste their curse energy. She's not like on the battlefield healing Gojo, right? You even take an example like, okay, oh, but what about like Megumi and Shibuya, right? Sukuna takes him to Shoko. Sukuna already did the immediate life-saving healing, right? He puts his hand on his chest, uses positive energy, right? And then is like, okay, I'm good, right? Like he didn't bring Megami back to 100%, but he literally stopped him from dying. That's the whole point of that whole like positive energy exchange. So Shoko didn't save Megami's life either. Nobara, I'll say maybe. Like Shoko saving Nobara could be really good, a really good counter to all of this, right? But I'll just put that in the maybe category for now.
mm.
So once again, what do we say? What does Shoko really do? And what gets crazier is like, why is there a better healer than her in Yuta Akotsu, right? Who's has more cursed energy, can output positive energy, has literally shown us him reconstructing like Maki after she gets mangled by Ghetto,
Mm.
right? And can throw hands. So
Right.
once again, I ask the question: what does Shoko do?
Mm.
And it's not even like a specific criticism of JJK. It just those tweets kind of made me think about it. I'm like, damn, writing a healer, like a compelling healing character, must be kind of fucking difficult,
Yeah.
man.
I feel like okay.
Like it's got to be kind of difficult to walk that line. No.
This is off the dome, so like don't take it like too. I'm not. This isn't a hill for me, right? So just off the cuff, right?
Mhm.
Just bear with me, right? I'd like to think there's like an alternative version of Shoko who was with Geto and Gojo growing up, and you know how like her reverse curse technique is like a particular thing to her and like to the universe. It would have been so cool if she was just like, oh, what if I put like reverse curse technique into a sword, and she was just like, she just had like a fucking lightsaber, just exercising
Mm,
curses,
yeah.
just helping out, you know, like people like Nanami and what's his name, Haibara. I don't know. There would have been like a cool like way to use positive energy for offense like that, for somebody who could only really use it. And if you want to say, oh,
Hmm.
she could be like the resident healer too, right? She could have like both responsibilities. I think it would be like, yeah, she'd be like a tactical like great asset. But as it stands right now, she's just dissecting corpses and I don't know, like just getting a paycheck.
Running around.
Yeah, like
Running
uh,
around, bro.
huh,
And that's kind of an interesting
yeah,
thing. Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
Again, off the
I don't know.
dome. What do you think?
Yeah,
You know,
I
combat
mean,
healer.
Yuta exercise. I mean, yeah, Yuta exercises Kurushi by giving him a big old kiss and using positive energy. So it's
Mhm.
definitely possible. Suguna says that like Maharaga's RCT blade is like, oh fuck, if I was a curse, I would have died,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, bro,
So
thank God I'm not a curse. Thank God I,
yeah.
Sukuna, am not a curse. So,
Oh, are you referencing
yeah.
the
God, bro, I saw
that
that.
shit was
Oh my
funny as
God.
fuck, bro. That shit was funny as hell. Um, Jesus Christ, man. I saw that and I was like, you know how easy it would be to get
Yeah.
this man out of here? I'm like, Yuta, listen,
Fucking Jaku,
die for the
bro.
sake of stabbing him
Yeah,
once, bro. For
literally.
the sake of stabbing him, like positive. Listen, bro, I promise you, well, Shoko ain't gonna bring you
Mm.
back, but just put some positive energy in that blade, right? Shit, give it to somebody else if you don't want to do it, right? Just land one hit. If he was a cursed spirit, he's cooked.
Bro, I'm surprised
Fried.
that Gojo's red didn't melt Jogo like instantly. I'm genuinely like I thought like the longer I thought about that, I was like, is Gojo holding it back? Is there a resistance there, right? Or like what's happening, right? And the only thing I've been able to sort of deduce is that I imagine the pain was unbearable for Jogo, right? That's been like the case with Infinity, but like the end result is always he's just getting pushed, right? So maybe
I
it
mean,
doesn't
so there's two
burn.
things.
I don't know.
There's two things though, right? One, the first thing is that Gojo can't output positive energy to begin with, right?
Yo, you don't think?
Um,
Wait, red isn't positive to you?
it's curse technique reversal, but like Yuta just mentions that like even Gojo can't output positive energy. So like
Oh, okay.
we know for like without a shadow of a doubt, at least if we're gonna take Yuta's word, right,
Right.
that Gojo cannot like do the same thing Yuta can do.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I was actually to live about talking with Liv about this earlier.
Mm-hmm.
The way she kind of like put it right is that it's like rather than it being literal reverse cursed energy doing the like fueling it, it's still electricity or it's still the base curse energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
The analogy she made was like the regular curse energy or the regular curse technique is like a vacuum, right?
Right.
And then all he's doing is reversing the function to make it more like a leaf blower,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's still electricity fueling it. The power source has not changed. He's reversing its intentions.
I see.
So that's why like he can not output positive energy, but still it still be reverse curse not reverse cursing, but like a curse technique reversal.
Hmm. Okay. Then never mind.
Yeah.
What I just said was
Yeah.
like it didn't make sense. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Um, what super chat are we up to?
Um, let's see. Google me. Thank you for the 5, by the way.
Mm.
So two things. One, first, thanks for streaming on Sundays. Helps me pass the time at work. You're welcome. No
Yeah.
problem, brother. Glad to be of service.
Mm-hmm.
Glad to be of service. And let's see. Second, I've been pushing the Mahito greater than Shibuya Yuji agenda on Discord as a soldier.
You're right.
Brother,
Like that's not even an
it
agenda.
doesn't,
That's
yeah,
just
that doesn't
right.
need to be, that
Like
doesn't need an agenda. Like, listen. I'm gonna put it like this, right? You take end of Shibuya Yuji, you take end of Shibuya Mahito, canonically, like stated by Gege, Mahito tears him to shreds in seconds.
yeah. Like
Like
it's
that instant spirit body of distorted killing was not just like it wasn't just a name he made because that shit was cool. Like he will fucking get obliterated.
yeah.
Yeah. No.
Uh,
No.
I, I I'm
Yeah.
whoever these
That's
people
it.
on
That's it.
Discord
Like
that you're
it's
disagree
just
like who are these like antis, you know? Like who's just they'd have
yeah.
to not read JJK to have this opinion.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't work like that. Like Yuji and Shibuya running that shit back with Mahito does not go the way that it went in the manga because he does not have a Nobara or a Toto to assist.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see.
Jalen,
Jalen, thank you for the 10.
with
Yeah,
Shibuya
with
happening.
Shibuya
Oh,
happening in the
you
anime.
can read it.
Jesus, brother. Relax. I got it.
We're
I got
usually
it.
better at passing this. You got it, bro. I believe in you.
I got it, brother. With Shibuya happening in the anime and Toji coming back, I was thinking about the soul, and I think that the soul is cursed energy itself, and having a heavenly restriction like Toji and Maki makes you soulless in a way. I mean, like, so the soul is the source of like emotions and shit in JJK, right? At least that's what Mahito says. But I mean, I don't know if I think it literally leaves you without a soul, although like that would kind of be hard.
Yeah.
I don't know,
I
like,
don't know. Maki
but
and
I don't know if I think that's the
yeah.
mechanism in which by which it works.
But like Maki and Toji have like feelings, and they have. I mean, Toji, you could argue, was a little dead inside by the end, but I don't know if that was necessarily him being born like that. You know. To be honest with you, though, I don't think it's related. I think like body, soul, and mind are the main thing. I think cursed energy sort of exists as a product of one of these things producing cursed energy, right? Even like when Toji gets reincarnated, right? He's like, no, my body just beat this guy's soul. And like Mahito's like, yeah, I mean, souls aren't like particularly more special than bodies or brains. So it's just, you know, like they're just I think it's like an Occam's razor thing. Like I think it's just as simple as they don't have cursed energy and that's it. You know? Like I don't think it has these byproducts to it.
Yeah. I think I would agree. I think I'd agree for the most part. Let's see. M3D, I think you're up next. Yeah. Thank you for the 5. Ino and Ijichi were saved. That's 2 whole lives, BR. They had families to support, and Shoko was a saint who prevented them from dying prematurely. And you know what? You're right. You brought up 2 characters whose lives she saved.
Yep.
And I honestly like, you know, I don't have a retaliation for that.
Yep.
You know, that's it. Fair enough.
God bless him. Or I guess.
Yeah. God bless Shoko. You know.
Katakal. That's
it.
Or Catcal. Sad Sal. I'm kind of covering all my bases here. Thank you for becoming an honored one. Appreciate you. And I think that's all the super chats, which means it's time to tag in our friend. Excuse me. Lack of operator.
Oh no, bro.
Let's get in here, bro.
I wouldn't let him burp during my intro, brother. Personally, I think you should come in here and cook him. That's crazy.
Let's start the call, bro.
That's crazy.
You know, I'm like half worried. BR. Hey, bro. What's up? They were just talking about you.
You did let him know we'd bring him in here soon, right?
Yeah. I obviously texted him. You know what? No, bro. I didn't give him any warning. I was just like, this might be a fun
I'm just
time.
making sure, man. Yeah. I'm just making sure because like that is well within your jurisdiction. I'm gonna be honest. That's all I'm saying, man.
Okay. Yeah, I mean he'll get here.
Yeah,
when he
listen,
gets here,
it is ringing a lot, bro. I'm just saying it sounds like you might not have given them the warning you thought you did.
I mean,
that's all I'm saying, bro.
I did give it to him six minutes ago. I just join whenever. There we go. There we go. Okay.
Bro said, and now we have no operator.
Yeah, I mean, we literally have no operator. Let's go, dude. Damn, I feel so bad for the people getting excited in chat. Oh, wow. You're such a, you don't have to.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks.
Oh, right. Shut up.
Now he's here.
Hey, Noah.
Hey, yo, what's going on, guys?
BR's just being
in time for the roasting session.
Yeah. Guys.
I had to bring out the soundboard.
Guys, I've been waiting. I got this idea like 2 days ago, and I've been dying to do this. So, hey, man, you want to take a second and introduce yourself, Noah? And tell us something interesting about yourself.
Something interesting. You know, like I have always been the person that like when in class, whenever they'd go around and be like, give us 3 interesting things, I'd be like, oh, no.
Yeah.
Don't come to me. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then let's see, something interesting. I Here's something interesting. Here's something interesting. My everyday food habits consist of probably less than 10 things, less than 10 items of food, because I am such a terrible picky eater.
Less than
There
10
you go.
items
That's
of
something
food.
Huh.
interesting.
Divvied over like
That
30
is pretty
meals.
unique. I will say.
I mean, is it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Huh.
So
Okay.
like it's like I eat like a toddler is like the best way to describe it. Like chicken fingers, french fries, dry, no sauce, plain pizza. I eat here's one that's that always stumps people when I tell them that. So like, tacos, how like you take like, ground beef and you throw it all in a
yes,
taco with a bunch of
I'm familiar
ingredients
with
and everything
tacos.
like
Yes.
that. Yeah, but sometimes some people are unfamiliar,
Mhm.
common misconception, but
Naturally.
I actually instead of doing a taco, because I don't like the shell, I don't like it hard, I don't like it soft, and I also don't like mixing foods. So I just take ground beef and I put it in a bowl and I eat it with a spoon.
You know,
Huh.
and obviously the introduction part, you didn't actually do that. Just not to put you on the spot, but it was an introduction.
I
and a
figured
fun
that was
fact.
enough of an introduction.
I mean,
Yeah, bro,
revealing my
bro
I mean,
just
they-
dark
revealed his
secrets
soul.
over there.
Yeah,
He
but
just said he
like-
doesn't eat tacos. Yeah, no, he told us everything we need to know.
I mean, look, guys, part of
but I am no operator. I do Jujutsu Kaisen content and sometimes other anime, sometimes other manga. I'm just happy to be here. Don't worry about subscribing to me or anything. Subscribe to these guys.
appreciate
They're
it,
cool.
bro. Yeah, no, I can see why you do this. That was very fun to be the asker and not the askee. Okay, you're forgiven. BR was going on and on about how much he hated doing that. So I was just like, no, we gotta give him a chance, and we did, bro. So BR's cool with it now, and I've always been cool with it. So there's no need to have my opinion changed. So if you were in like oh man, I wonder who my real friends are, like that's self-explanatory. I think that situation that just unfolded.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
No, I want to ask you a follow up on a really important question. All right, or a follow up on something. Do you not like your food touching at all? Like,
I mean, so like obviously it depends on what it is. Like if it's chicken fingers and fries, like if like that touches, it's no big deal. I don't care about that. But like it's more or less like a thing of like like I'm trying to think of an example.
Is it like a sauce or like a wet thing? Like
yes, it's a sauce, and I was just gonna say that 100%. Like like I don't eat sauce with really anything. The only thing I'll put sauce on, I'll put mustard on my hot dog. But that's really about it.
Mustard slaps, bro. That's correct.
Correct. And you know what? I'm not really discriminate about the mustard. It can be spicy mustard, it can be brown mustard, yellow mustard. That I'm pretty open to. Mustard is great, but I only put it on a hot dog. I don't put it on anything else.
okay, fair enough.
So that's cool.
Drew,
Yeah.
Are you big food toucher? That's crazy. Are you big let your food intermingle?
Only if it's like a stew or like a curry or something. I like to do this thing where I like to put the white rice on the bottom and then sort of lay it down on top, and I don't mix it until I get to the very end. After like doing like the stick my spoon or fork in and then getting a scoop of like the untouched or like the clean rice, and then the thing on top layered, and then they mix in my mouth, right? But then at the end, I'm just like, I don't want the rice to be like, I don't want the sauce to get like lost in my bowl. So that's when I do the final mix.
He said he doesn't want it to get lost.
Yeah.
But like an example would be like I eat like so I get this I make this meal. It's chicken breast and macaroni and cheese. And like if the macaroni and cheese like splashed onto like the chicken, like I would be upset about it. I would probably eat it, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, but like I would definitely, it would be like I'd be like, oh, wow, this is not good.
Huh. Fair enough, man. Fair enough.
That's just yeah.
What about you, BR? Are you
yeah.
Are you like
I like my food. Like it depends on the combo, right? But like I will intentionally mix my food up, if that makes sense. Like
you're a
for
normal person. I congratulate you for that.
for Thanksgiving, for example, right? Like, oh, mac and cheese and ham. Yeah, you get eaten together.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese, turkey.
No.
Like this stuff is getting mixed. Like,
no, but do you mix them on the plate or do you mix them on your spoon like I do?
I don't mix them on my plate. I just like if I have my fork, right?
Right.
I just stab multiple types
that's
of
what
food.
that's basically what I do. Yeah. But like no, I think
Why
Noah
do
meant like
I was gonna
on the
say, why do
plate,
I envision that being
on
so
the
much
bowl.
harder on your spoon, Creams?
No,
Yeah, bro. I was like, no, I gotta scoop up my ham, huh?
no,
Okay.
no, no,
fair
no.
Yeah, like how do you
I'm
mix
still,
it on your
bro.
spoon?
Shut up, guys. I was talking about broths. Damn it. All right, there's liquid food out. Okay, I'm not.
Broth? Like, yeah,
Okay,
nah, bro.
y'all.
Like,
Why
bro,
are y'all
if you're,
making
if
me
you're
nervous?
talking about
Oh my
food
god.
that automatically, no, listen, brother, listen. I'm talking about food that's like on a plate. You're talking
Okay.
about food that you like are gonna eat in a
Obviously,
bowl
if
or
it's
something.
on
If it's
no,
food that it,
if it's on a plate, like
what?
obviously I use a fork. Like duh.
Okay, okay, sure, right? You say that now, but what I'm saying is, like, if it's like curry, for example, right? Curry is getting mixed off, like off rip. It's getting mixed as soon as it touches whatever I'm eating it from, right? So I'm not doing like some voodoo with it on. I'm not putting unmixed curry on my spoon, putting a magic spell over it, and then like mixing it there. I just mix it in the bowl, or I mix it in whatever container it's in. For like plate food, obviously you can't really do that because it's not liquid. So I'm saying I do like with a fork, like I just mix a bunch of food on there and then eat it at once.
Mm.
I tend to like the combo flavor. You know what I mean? Like Ratatouille when he put like I think a grape and some cheese together.
Also,
That's how I be.
Johnny, please stop
Bleh.
inciting our employees to unionize. All right, none of that. All right, stop doing
I
that.
keep doing it, Johnny.
Whoa,
All right, we're
Keep
running.
doing it. We're for
Creams
our employees, aren't we?
anti-union. Why am I surprised? Honestly, yeah. Just add it
I'm
to
not
the
gonna lie,
list.
that's kind of crazy.
Look, bro,
Yeah.
I'm pro union everywhere that isn't Honored Ones LLC, bro. I think that's a good line to have. It's the one BR and I talked about. From the very
Interesting.
inception
Suddenly,
of
when
this
it
podcast.
begins
Yeah,
to
no,
affect you,
that's kind of wild. I'm pro union all the time. If I can be honest, So just in case you guys thought we stood together on this one, absolutely not. Just
Co-signed by both of us.
hand me a pitchfork and a torch. You don't speak for me, buddy. Sorry, you can't do that anymore.
this is not helping the no-op bullying allegations at all
My
for me.
God, bro.
Just participating in this. Oh no.
Damn.
Yeah.
Can't believe you disagree with Creams about being anti-union. I always knew you were a bully, no-op. Damn, bro.
So besides me being on the spectrum, what is the plan for the podcast today, guys?
Man, that's a great question. BR is actually going to be the one to answer it. He loves questions like that. BR?
Yeah, so we're just gonna basically like field some questions from chat. So I think some so one, first of all, thank you for the Kogane for being a member. Appreciate you, Liv. And then two, there is a member that asked us a question. We can kind of just field other chat questions. Kind of go through just a real general chill JJK stream today. So 3 inches long, 3 inches wide. Thank you for being a member for 3 months. Very, very poetic actually here. How would you have changed JJK if you were gay, if at all? In my opinion, it's amazing. Just more character interactions would be better. So
my answer
Noah,
is
since you're the guest here, let's start with you.
Yeah,
hey, Noah, since you're the guest here,
okay,
let's
I was
start
gonna
with
make
you.
the same offer.
How would you change?
First. Yeah.
Okay. How would you change JJK? We get it, man. We get it. Good job. You're a great host. Okay.
Yeah.
How would you change JJK Noah, if at all, if you were gay, or like if you could like, you're an editor, right? You get to add your input there. What you doing?
So besides I have multiple different ideas, but the one that I'm gonna bring up because it's fresh on my mind is just full on expanding the whole military arc and just like having a couple more chapters where we actually felt the impact of that. Specifically, I've always thought it'd be really cool if we got another Yuji and Megami duo fight, but put them up against like a high grade military sniper or something, and like the whole fight was like Yuji and Megami trying to like get close to the snipe, like kind of like Sakamoto days in Kamahate, like in that fight that just happened, but like Yuji and Megami. I think even just something simple like that, even if I was given just that, I would have like been like, all right, I'm sealed on the deal. Like,
I like the way you think. I like that idea a lot, bro. A Yuji and Megami kind of like sniper hunt. That sounds hard as hell. I'm gonna be honest. That does sound really, really, really cool. And that is one of the things that I feel like it kind of brought up and put down really, really quickly. It was like 2 chapters. Some randoms killed like Haba, a god like fucking sorcerer or whatever, and we kind of just kept it pushing after that. But yeah, that's a pretty cool one. I think something like that would be really sick.
It would like follow up with like the whole idea how they had the 3 like top sorcerers. Like I said, like we don't even need to see all 3 of them, even if we just got one. Like I think that would just have given enough for the military. I feel like that would have stopped any criticisms about that, like just being a very like what's the word? What's the phrase I'm thinking of? Just like stepped over, like just passed over kind of part of the culling game.
Yeah, I agree, and that makes a lot of sense. I think that would be pretty sick. Creams, you?
I think I'd just add more chapters across the board. Like, if I could just give Gege whatever serum Oda and the guy who's writing Ippo has, and just be like, all right, bro, just you're in no rush. It's fine. Take your time. That's it. That'd be the only thing, because I feel like Gege would naturally have the stuff to write, but he wouldn't be as pressed with getting the pacing through as he seems to be. So that's
Okay.
That's literally it. Just
okay. I would probably say something really, really similar, but in the spirit of adding some variety here, I would say specifically, let's get some in-depth clan interactions, please, bro.
Yes,
I really want to know,
yeah.
like, how do the clans interact with the higher ups? Like all of that, like how do they interact with each other? I really like to
Gojo's
see
family.
all
Oh
of that
my
because I
God,
think.
bro.
Yeah, it makes all of this so much interesting. Like, I think Gege said like, oh yeah, the Gojo clan is like basically just Gojo, right? It's just the Gojo we know because he's so powerful and blah blah blah.
Yeah, but like,
it's like, okay,
where are the
can you
others, bro?
just show us them being incompetent? Like, just show us them being. I'm cool with you showing us them being like absolute losers that are riding on his coattails.
Yep.
I think seeing the Zenin clan's interactions, like for as like messed up as they were, it's interesting, man. I like seeing that. Like the politics of it. I feel like Gege dabbles in a lot of stuff, and like the military like mini arc, for example, right? And the clan thing, as I brought up, is like he dabbles, and it's like, oh, that's a really sick idea. I wonder where you're gonna go with. Oh, everybody's dead. Fair. It's like okay, fair enough. Like I get it, right? You're trying to move the story along, but I think something like that would be really really sick. And then I think an obvious one, just to double down because it just came to mind. I mean, one that I feel like a lot of people want, the Heian era flashback. I know me saying it kind of implies that I think we're not going to get it at all. That's not really the case. But if I could just lock it in for sure, just Gege, let me tap you on the shoulder real quick. Let me go ahead and see what we were talking about back there. That'd be sick too. That'd be sick.
Bro,
too.
hidden inventory was like 10, 11 chapters, right? Like it doesn't even have to be long. That'd be like impactful and like have a crazy like moment. Like to like even like if we just get like to see what all these void generals and all these freaking people that we've heard so much about, even if we just see a character design for them. I don't need to see them fight. Just like let me know what they look like. I've heard about them 3, 4, 5 different times in the series now, and we don't even know like anything about them. I think it's crazy.
I don't even know whether or not to be impressed or not. Like Gege pitches it as like an impressive thing, right? But I'm just like, is it like? Let me see for myself, bro.
Like
I mean, like
it
we
has
have
to
like
be.
Oro. I mean, like we have like Oro and like other and like Angel, not really, but more like Oro as like a character like baseline. Okay, like I would imagine like everyone is at least Oro level if she was a captain. If not, like there's probably other select few candidates. Like also Jujutsu Kaisen such like a complicated thing where like someone's curse technique can be overpowered by the other. So like I just take Oro as like a decent scale.
I mean, like, I would love to see something in a Heian era flashback as simple as Yorozu beating all these members, right? Like, just so I could get a feel for how strong she is relative to Uro and people of her caliber. And then it might just make Sukuna more impressive to me. Like, as weird as that sounds, like, not that he's lacking in that, but I just feel like it's almost like a softer version of the Jogo syndrome, where Jogo just looks weaker than he should be to a lot of people because he's only gotten paired up against Gojo and Sukuna. So whenever you see a glimpse of him going up against, Nanami, Maki, and Nabito, you're like, oh, okay, wait, no, Jogo is like that guy. So what's just like give me some jobbers, bro. That's what I want.
You want some jobbers for the jobbers?
I want some jobbers for the jobbers, bro. There's a jobber ladder, and I just think it's missing that middle piece. That's it.
Sublet out some jobbing fucking applications.
Yeah, bro.
You know what have been? Oh, go ahead, Ronan.
No. That was all. That just had that one little fucking quip.
I was gonna say just like a really quick one that like I just remembered would be like if we did I know there's people are very controversial on this character specifically because they're like, oh, he wouldn't be able to do anything because his curse technique's dead, blah blah blah. I just don't see that happening. I still see Toto being a beast. Like I would have loved to have gotten Toto in a colony fighting Takeda as a reincarnated sorcerer. That would have been so cool.
Oh, hold on, bro. We might need to get you in the writer's room. I'm gonna be honest. I thought about that. I said, no, he cooked. Yeah, no, let's do it. Let's do it. Listen, man, I'm gonna say this. I have a lot of like minor, maybe even larger things about like Gege's writing that kind of annoy me. A lot of that could be assuaged if Toto shows up in a very Shibuya-like fashion here. Man, I can't hear a clap and then another crazy speech, bro. I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, I do think there are some characters that like could have done well to be in their own colonies. Because if I'm remembering correctly, there are some colonies that are completely untouched, right? Ones that Kenjaku deems are like, oh yeah, these were just for
10.
suckers. Yeah, right. And it's like, I feel like you can probably have, a few characters like fighting like that. Like maybe this isn't entirely necessary, right? Maybe it's just now I know these characters are cool, so I'd be willing to see it. But I mean, even just someone like Ishigori fighting after Yuta, right? Or maybe fighting before Yuta and being disappointed by people. Like, oh my God, bro, this is so boring. This just sucks. Like, I think it would just do well to like there is something like small interactions would be really nice between characters that we've seen and kind of grown to like. Because I don't know, Ishigori, obviously like Kashimo, I think, and even Uro, I think have like very quickly become compelling or at the very least like intriguing. So sometimes it feels like Gege was like really efficient with his writing, but didn't necessarily decide to like, milk it for all that it's worth sometimes.
Yeah. The one, like, call it wish list one that I have in that one is I think I'd like to see somebody else's trial at some point. Like, I would have loved to see some kind of training arc in that 1 month between Gojo coming back and the Sukuna Gojo fight happening, where like Higuruma and the rest of them are just training with Gojo or whatever, seeing some things like Kashimo getting convinced to like wait. I would kill to see how they convinced him, man. Like it just like we got a little tease of it this last chapter, but like what, like why did he listen? Like I want to hear the argument they gave him. I'm just curious about that. But something like the trial I mentioned earlier, I'd like to see what a practice run of a trial would be for Higuruma to sharpen his abilities. Like, does he just practice the law better? Like how did they train bro up to like get Sukuna in the ring, or in the courtroom? Just like little things like that. Like, how do you go from no technique, like a month ago to King of Curses trial of the century? It's neat to me.
For sure, 100%. Yeah, no, I will say that like I think those like almost like the joints of certain or the connective tissue of certain like arcs or points or characters is where a lot of people feel like if Gege has any weakness, it's probably there. I think most people can agree like his major plot points, the fights obviously are hitting for a lot. And stuff like that's really good.
Man.
Let's see. Yeah, I think a lot of people in chat are also just kind of highlighting a very similar sentiment.
You basically just
I mean like
do more.
like yeah, I mean like that's Gege's biggest problem is he created such a big world with so much in-depth things and ideas and rules, and then he doesn't explore any of it. Like to I was about to say to No-Op's point, that's who I am. To Broken Ronin's point, when he was talking about like the get more 3 clans like content, like that would have been amazing. Like I'm a sucker for like political stuff like that. Like I would have loved to have seen how the clans work against each other, why the Gojo and Zenin clans hate each other, and how like they are able to like work together in like the higher up setting. I'd love to have just even gotten to know the higher ups in general. Like I remember like first starting the series and being like, all right, we're gonna have an arc where we have to go against the higher ups and all of them are gonna be like crazy sorcerers, and like who the only higher up we find out about is Gaku Kanji with the guitar. Like, come
Yeah.
on, like what? Why was this guy even a higher up? Like, it's like what was the criteria to make a higher up? And the thing that will get me, because I don't want to rant for too long, but the thing that always gets me and will send me to the stratosphere is the volume extra. I don't remember what volume it is, where Gege dropped like the political hierarchy of the Jujutsu Society, and like there's like the higher ups, and then there's a whole like other level above the higher ups where there's a singular person in charge of the entire Jujutsu Society,
Oh yeah.
named the director of Jujutsu, and it's like we've never even heard of this in the story, let alone know who this guy is. But this guy's supposedly the person who calls every single what?
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, no,
What?
that's wild, bro.
It's so
That's
wild.
actually that's yeah, no, bro. Trust me, there's this like really higher up guy, like a higher up squared.
Yeah.
Y'all don't need to know about him though.
Bro, that's like if Kuburo Bleach and like never got to Squad 0 and just like mentioned them in like a Q&A at some point. It just ended the series after like the fucking Soul Society. Like what? Like what? Oh god.
Yeah.
It's I just it blows my mind, like, and the fact that like clearly you've put a lot of thought into this, the fact that he like consulted, I remember he said he consulted a lawyer to construct and make sure the hierarchy made sense and everybody had specific roles and everything, and it's like, bro, it's not even like he couldn't find like an interesting way to integrate them into the story. Like, there are so many different points, so many different layers that they could have been involved in. Gaku Kanji beat Yaga. There was that random like ninja looking person who was a higher, who was even what was he? What organization is he with? Who's he working for? Who is he? And there's also there's the whole traitor in the higher ups, and the higher ups are corrupt and they're working for Kenjaku, but then they're all dead and we don't have to worry about them anymore. So I guess it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yeah. It's I saw this video, right? And it was a comedic take on like why Gege's pacing is so funny or so like fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was just generally like, because Gege was about to get, or he was fearing getting canceled around when Yuji dies, right? Like that's why Yuji dies the way he does, because he's like, if it ends here, this is kind of like a semi-conclusive ending to the story. And the conclusion they came to was basically, right, Gege writes as if he's still scared of being canceled sometimes, right? Like he'll be like, okay, here's a really cool idea. Shit, that's not interesting enough. Like if I talk about the fucking politics of the clan for 10 chapters, and here's the thing, what's annoying about it is you can't entirely blame him for that mentality either.
At least not
because
in the early
like
stages.
you will see, yeah, because the thing is you will see people, and I'm not even gonna pretend like I'm not susceptible to this either, right? But you will see people having like the impression that we won't fight for like one chapter and like, bro, who reading this for real? And it's like me and like everybody else, man. Like that's how you get cool shit. Like it's literally it's like the fights are kind of cool because you care about the characters and the stakes and stuff. But then you see like, and listen, you see I don't know, man, like Gojo come back and it's like, okay, he's talking to everybody. Fuck, dude, where's the fights at? I need Gojo versus Sukuna already. Like a couple of chapters where we're just kind of talking. Can we celebrate he's back? Maybe we got a month. Yeah, can we take one? Can we in universe? Can we take 1 or 2 days to be like, hey guys, I know you've been fighting for your lives out there. What like? What's going on here?
Breathe.
Yeah.
Let's relax a little bit. Let's no. Instead,
ease
we're
up.
gonna go right into it, and we'll get it
Yeah.
all dribbled to us in flashbacks instead.
And then he fucking he's like pedal to the metal. He's like, oh shit, you thought we were gonna wait, bro? Nah, we not doing that. Gojo's back now. Gojo's fighting.
Bro,
It's
it
like,
makes
I
for
mean,
like a
okay.
I think it makes for like a gas week to week experience, but like a slightly like hollower binging experience. Like you don't really get as much time to sit with everything, and to some degree that oh my god, I'm gonna get canceled at any minute mentality I think is justified until like how many tens of millions of sales until he's just like, hey guys, I'm just gonna slow down a little bit, you know, because I feel like
he's earned his place.
Exactly, and I
Yeah, no, you can't cancel JJK.
exactly. I mean, not good, right? It's Weekly Shonen Jump, you know, but like in my head, I think he has a moment like that, or just, speculation on my part, based on like the 3-week break schedule that he's been on recently. I don't know. It was like last year he started this, or like maybe earlier this year. But I think when he started doing that more regularly, it was like somebody's got some negotiating power, like that's a guy who saw his bank account and came in with some confidence. Yeah,
Like,
let me get one day. Let me
I
get 1
think
week off.
the I think like the best example like I can give is like I recently started reading Hunter x Hunter,
Based
and like
W
you can tell
King.
that is Tagashi's second work because of how much time he takes to like develop all of these small things and layers, and like I feel like it's like 20-30 chapters before you even get a real fight in a battle shonen, of all things, like as like a character, an author that has like earned their spot and like you can trust, and it's like, all right, like we're just gonna let this person cook, and we just know it's gonna be fire. Like I feel like Gege is one of those authors that like he really could take as much time as he wants, and I don't know if that's because like I feel like he takes a lot of the criticisms that like a series that he likes took, like specifically about like Bleach, like how like so many people give criticism of Bleach, or like because there's too many fights, all it is fighting constantly, and the fights go on for too long, and there's just arcs of just nonsense fighting of side characters. And I feel like that could be a reason why Gege pushes past his side characters. Could be a reason why the Culling game wasn't a 200 chapter arc, even though it literally could have been, right? Like it literally had the layers where 10 12 colonies it could have been. But I feel like you said, Ronan, he just doesn't like trust himself enough. Like he writes like he's still like about to get canceled and on the chopping block.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, dude, you can relax.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah. I really do think Gege would benefit from like having a Tagashi, like as like just a person to tell him, slow down, brother. Like don't even give him ideas. He don't need any of that. Just someone just being like, relax. That like literally just anytime he's writing, okay, so we're gonna go right into the chill.
Yeah.
You don't even have to really direct him. Just pump the brakes a little bit. Think about like the in between moments.
You know what I wish even more for that? I just wish like Weekly Shonen Jump would just be like, hey bro, these next 50 chapters, even if they're the worst things like ever put to paper, right? Even if it's like genuinely some of the worst fiction, like horrid shit like that just tanks our stock and we actually lose our overall like income for the year. No matter how bad it is, we guarantee you those 50 chapters. So please chill. like you get those 50, you these are safe, these are guaranteed. Write all of them.
Hey bro, you say that Takaba's gonna be fighting Kenjaku for 50 chapters. I don't know if I'm gonna say all that, but
no, like,
I will say, do.
It's funny
letting him cook is a good idea.
It's funny you bring that fight up because Takaba versus Kenjaku is like a chill thing to do, right? Like it's a fight in the story that took its time, didn't feel rushed, was really nice for both characters, and just like it was an enjoyable read. Especially, and it's gonna be, in my opinion, a lot more enjoyable when you reread JJK like in totality. Whereas something like the Kashimo Sukuna fight might leave that bitter, like, why the hell is he like speeding up so much taste in your mouth? It's just
I get that. Yeah, and that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I was really happy he took a lot of time with Gojo versus Sukuna, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
And in evens, I remember at the beginning of the fight, people were like, we're getting 8 chapters. I'm like, there's no way in hell, bro. This is Gojo versus Sukuna. Like, I think I was short of I overestimated by like 2 chapters. I think I said it was going to be like 15 chapters total. Even still, right? 13 chapters, I think, might be the longest 1v1 we've ever seen in the story, right? Or just the longest fight at all. Like, even if they're getting jumped, right? It is just the longest fight we've gotten. And I'm like, it kind of shows. Like, the main criticism I have of Gojo vs Sukuna is, once again, it's not even really the content that exists, it's the content that doesn't. I always flip back and forth because I'm like, people are like, okay, but they show it through their actions. Like, yeah, damn, their shit talk, like more shit talk. Like they do go back and forth, but historic bars could have been gone back and forth. Like, this is Gojo and Sukuna, man. This is like, I don't know. They have some of the most aura in the series, and I just feel like almost all of my problems with Gege, right? Like almost every single one comes down to man, I think you should have just done more to either build this up or like made the conclusion more satisfying, blah, blah, blah. But it's usually just like a lack of content somewhere weakening the end result. That's kind of how I feel about it. But yeah. Let's jump into these super chats real quick. We may get a couple of more questions that we can kind of get into. So M3D, thank you for the 5. Y'all ever think about how it was Naoya, if I recall correctly, who first called attention to the plot point that that is the loneliness of the strongest? Now that you mentioned that, this is kind of funny shit. Now he's like, now you saw Toji and was like, I get it. Maybe you could argue that like
I just realized
it's brought up in hidden inventory.
Bro, that was his Yorozu moment. Like seeing Toji walk, like was like seeing Sukuna on the shrine for Yorozu.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta save this guy.
Yeah, I mean, and it's almost like with a pretty similar energy too, right? It's almost like walking around this area with this indifference. Like Yorozu was like, I don't need to put on clothes, like I'm just chilling, right? And then GC Sukuni's like, oh, I get it, I understand now. And now he's like, oh, how sad this guy with no cursed energy must be. Sees him, he's like, I think I have a crush. Like that was his reaction, bro. Bro was like, yeah, no, that's my goat. That's my goat.
I like that they both were like, bro, I got a Dicky. Like that's simply the only option. I thought it was like, damn, bro, nom 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 nom. Let me put the bib on. It's funny to me.
Yeah. I will say, like, I think Naoya is probably one of the earliest characters to do so. I said, I think it might be more implicitly brought up in the hidden inventory arc, specifically at the end when Gojo and Geto's whole thing of like being the strongest together and then Gojo just being the strongest alone. But it's not put in so many words like it is with Naoya or Yorozu or Sukuna or Gojo or Kashima or whatever. So yeah, that is a pretty interesting find considering Naoya's whole character. But Torch did, thank you for the 5. Love Higuruma so much, but him coming back was so random to me because he had his dramatic exit and was going to turn himself in and then just comes back.
This is one of those.
I mean, like, I don't know where he's turning himself back into.
I mean,
yeah, where's he gonna go?
There is no Japan, right? Like let's keep it a stack. And if they win, there's no law if there's no society. But I
think Higuruma is just a good guy.
Yeah, I think that's as simple as.
And like, yeah, I mean, it's like, you know, how else to redeem yourself also than like getting rid of, I mean, JJK Satan, you know what I mean? Like that's, I don't know, man. Listen, you want to try to like rectify your mistakes. You want to stop like closing your eyes to the like the depravity of humanity. All right, buddy, we'll open them. You got Sukuna right in front of you. You know what I mean? It's sort of one of those things. So I don't know. It kind of makes sense for his character to come back. And I personally would have been quite disappointed if Higuruma did have no more narrative relevance when I think he could so obviously do so. I think him coming to like almost judge Sukuna, or not almost, to literally judge Sukuna is one of the coolest things he could have done. And I mean, it's almost a direct follow up. He's like, hey, bro, I incorrectly convicted you for that. Now let's actually catch the right guy, sort of thing.
Yeah.
To be fair, oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was just gonna make a stupid joke. You think Sukuna brushed up on law books instead of training in that month with Gojo?
Yeah. He did that. I will say, I don't know, man. Like we said this last time we were talking about the chapter. That Smile is someone who's beat the case already. Mm-hmm. He's, as far as he's concerned, he's home free. Yep. He's not a thing in the world he's worried about, bro.
He's kind of funny. He's seeing his family again. That's
yeah.
I thought it was something was that was super cool for Higuruma to come back is because like the Higuruma's whole like descent into like madness, or like why he becomes someone that like gains 100 points and like kills all those people in the culling game. Is because he has like his mental breakdown. He has this snapping moment where like he can no longer be a lawyer and he insteads to take on the moment of being a judge. And that's when he basically fights Yuji. He has judgment, he has deadly sentencing, everything like that. So I think it's really poetic because I know a lot of people are worried if Higuruma's going to die here, if Higuruma's going to actually be able to beat Sukuna. I feel like if Higuruma does die here, it's very beautiful in a sense that he can use his deadly sentencing and his domain expansion to instead be like literally a lawyer and fight for Yuji against Sukuna, as opposed to like literally using his ability to like judge somebody. Like he's still judging Sukuna if he ends up getting it, but like he's just using it in such a different way, almost as like he's like defending Yuji in like a court case. So like I love that. I think that's like a really cool like little tidbit that like I don't know if Gege intended to like put, but I definitely noticed it or inserted that myself.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I do think that's pretty cool. And I don't know if what you said in chat still is true, but if so, you know, feel free. You can let us know whenever, Noah, if you gotta go. But if not, we can just keep reading the super chats.
Yeah, let's keep going. I'm just
okay.
basically waiting for like my friends to give me like the on my way. You know what I mean?
Bad. Got you.
Gotcha.
Okay. So Demon Akatsuwa, thank you for the 5. Hey, curious if there was any tertiary characters in JJK you would have liked to see get more spotlight in the Culling games, like Momo, Ino, etc., etc.
Ino, probably.
So there's low hanging fruit for me.
Bro. Like how's this dude alive?
Yeah. There's super ultra mega low hanging fruit for me, right? Which is just like Miwa, duh. But I'm going to go pick something else because y'all already know. And I don't have the energy to go on a tangent right now. I'm lying, I do, but you know, I just don't feel like it. I think let's see. Dude, like we did see Kamo. I could have seen more Kamo, but I think outside of that, I don't know. I mean, I'm not even a big fan of this character like that, but I could have stood to see a little bit more Mei. Like like how does an opportunist look at the Culling games? You know what I mean? How do you see this as a way to make money? I'd be kind of curious about that.
I don't even
but
know.
I do feel like a lot of the tertiary characters almost have roles designated to them already.
Yeah. I mean, Mei's doing her thing with like setting up the Gojo versus Sukuna betting thing.
Making that Twitch ad revenue like ninja.
Yeah. And I assume the only reason any crow even touched Sukuna's vicinity was because somebody paid a very handsome fee for her to test that out. So whether or not you want to argue,
Donated a super chat.
Literally, bro. Like, hey, how much for you to throw in a second crow at him? Just you know, just how much is the second crow worth? You know, yeah. It's very funny of Mei to still like. How do I put this? It's still very funny of her to assume money will have value in the case that like they lose. Like it just like it's amusing to me. Like she either has to implicitly believe in their victory, right, to even like go this far, or she's so insane she'll be like, nah, whatever Kenjaku's monster does, it'll understand the common language, you know, cha-ching.
I mean, it's almost like what is the alternative, right? So you have to bet on money because if money doesn't have value, right, you're assuming that the world is just finished, right? So like Sukuna or the super curse, they're out, so she just dies that way, right? So but if but if the world does go back to normal and she didn't capitalize, she just lost out on money, right? It's sort of like betting on money for Mei is almost exclusively a win, I feel, right?
Yes.
Either it goes to hell, she's cooked, or it doesn't, and she's up. She made a bag. You know what I mean?
So the insane route, basically.
Yeah, I mean, obviously insane, right? Like she's still here. She's still fighting and shit. But like at the end of the day, she got wee, right? Okay, teleport us to America. Thanks.
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and convert all of my yen to USD. Cool. Yep. You know, maybe we'll die later, but that's for later me to deal with. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think like Mei alone, like staying and fighting, says that she realizes that like, look, like I'm gonna capitalize on Gojo versus Sukuna as much as possible, but like if Gojo really does die, like I definitely have to participate in some way, shape, or form just to make sure that like the world doesn't end after all of this. Because I'm pretty sure after Japan, I mean, like who knows what will happen? But yeah, like
Tengen's barrier isn't there anymore. Like it's, you know.
If she thought she could get away and survive and it wouldn't be like a world cataclysmic event and like it would all just stay in Japan, like yeah, I'm sure she would definitely be the first person to dip out. I mean, that's what Kamo is literally doing. So
yeah,
which is
yeah. All right, brother. I'll see y'all later, bro. I haven't seen my mom in forever, bro. I gotta go catch up.
Someone tells me, you know, she doesn't hate me. Let me double check, bro.
Yeah.
Let me double check she doesn't hate me. Lobby Warsaw, thank you for the 10. Catching up to the stream, who would have known that Sukuna has a no barrier domain? It was used twice up to that point. Both people on our side who were around were unconscious. Am I missing someone? Yuji, right?
Inumaki, yeah, Inumaki gets his arm caught, and he clearly wasn't caught in a barrier. He knows that, right? And Yuji witnesses everything that Sukuna does.
Yeah,
that's why he
by design.
That's why he throws up and like cries and shit. You know what I mean? He's like, oh my god, I just killed like he saw, right? Yuji saw that, and you can cross-reference that, right, with Choso. Like, even if you thought, oh, you know, maybe Yuji and Inumaki were just laced, okay, Choso can confirm it by being like, hey, Kenjaku, you know, the guy we also have to fight, kind of had an open barrier domain too, and that ruined our plans. You know what I mean? So like, I feel like I've said this once, I'll say it again. Not remotely mentioning the potential of an open barrier to Gojo
It's nuts. Man.
is like, in the moment, right? It made me like kind of upset because I was like, fuck, the whole fight. Because at the time I didn't know, but I'm like, the whole fight trajectory might be changed, man. Gojo might be cooked off of like some misinformation. But like now I just almost look at it as like laughable. It's like, how do you overlook that, right? The domain is the pinnacle of sorcery. Y'all knew it was gonna come to this.
And what really bothers me is that they like talk about it in the locker room, like when it happens. Like Choso's like, yeah, you know, even Kenjaku has a barrierless domain, and it's like, huh? Like what?
Yeah, everyone's like, that's not possible. It's like, did y'all not think it was like y'all planned on Yuta pulling up on him, right? Did y'all not? Y'all didn't think it was relevant at all.
Insane.
For Yuta, for anybody to know.
Yep.
Like, imagine Yuta being like, what the, bro, I have a closed barrier. I didn't even know. Nah, bro, I don't want to fight these guys. Like, I didn't know sorcerers could do that. Like, well, that's not fair. Yeah, nah, bro. I'd be heated. Yeah. I'd be heated if I get that first slash on my neck and I'm like, these motherfuckers didn't tell me shit.
Yeah. Like,
and then I'm just cooked. Yeah.
I mean, bro, if I'm surviving that, like, you know, Choso seeing his brothers again. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's nuts. But yeah, that's actually absolutely insane. I don't know if you got to kill him over it.
I mean,
I don't know if you got to kill him over it. Maybe a strong reprimand, maybe reprimand him for his actions.
Angel of Ashes.
Let me ask you guys a question before we get onto the next super chat, though, real quick. Because of what Kusakabe was saying about like, you either need to have like RCT or like ridiculous fucking power to be relevant here. Do you think everybody that's in like the screening room has the intentions to still fight? Like if you're even there, you have like maybe not fight directly, but even take on like a Mei like role where she's like attacking with bird strike or working surveillance. Like, do you think everyone in there does intend to scrap? Like that's the reason we don't see Kamo, because he did not intend to fight, like situations like that.
Probably.
I would think so.
Yeah. In line, I think, with Kamo's decision, his lack of action. Like, basically, if he's not there,
well, actually, I mean, I guess because they say Miwa is still there, and they say Miwa is not going to be participating, so.
Yeah, I don't. The timeline is really interesting though, because I do wonder like what is the gap in time, right? Like for example, when they're talking about Takaba, right? It's clear that some time passed before they realized Takaba was not just a useless idiot who walks around half naked, and after they started formulating their plans around him. So I do wonder if anything changed or if like anybody decided like. I that would be nice. Like Gege was like very specific with like timestamps and shit during the Koen games. I do feel like that'd kind of be useful here.
Yeah.
Give us the perspective of like, oh shit, like when is this all taking place? Is he jumping around? Blah blah blah.
I think I would have to agree. The only thing, okay, like the differentiating factor between him and Miwa would probably be that he's not even there to watch the fight. He's just not going to be there. So he might already be gone, or Gege just didn't draw him because like why waste the ink on a guy who doesn't care? Not even doesn't care, but like he's not.
I want to say this and then I have to leave, unfortunately. So the one thing I will say to that is the only reason why I, for like 10 chapters before Takaba and Kenjaku showed up, is because Gege gave spotlight to literally every single individual character in that room. And besides Takaba. So that immediately is what tipped me off. And I was like, that's suspicious. I was like, he's drawn every single, he drew Momo like in the dialogue. I'm like, all right, there's no way he's, especially like a talkative character like Takaba, who is like never missing a chance to like be in a scene or be like in a conversation. Like I immediately was like, nah, something's wrong with that. So like yeah, I mean like I definitely like would say that like everyone there is definitely important, and everyone there is gonna either have some kind of role to play, or like if you're Miwa, maybe like you're just like there for like moral support, you're the cheerleader. But like, you know.
Yeah. Um.
But
But
yeah,
I'm sorry,
man. If you gotta go, yeah, no problem, man. Appreciate you joining stream. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you on, man.
No, you guys are both great people. I appreciate you guys inviting me. Always fun. And yeah, guys, thank you all so much. Love you. Bye.
Yeah. Peace out. Angel of Access, thank you for the 2. BR sounds like a femboy. He's sick as hell. Terminal. What a crazy follow-up to No Op's beautiful exit. What a crazy.
I wanted your reaction to that donation.
Oh, okay. You did hear that. Wow. Okay. Yeah. What is your reaction, BR?
Appreciate it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what that really. I don't know what that says about me. Thanks. I'm gonna just give him a dap. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, broski. Thank you for the 2.
You know what?
And you know, I am recovering from sickness, so you know, I'm gonna assume there's well wishes in there. You know, I'm gonna imply that for you.
You know what?
I'm gonna imply that for you.
Just for kicks,
Peace.
right? Just call it my own personal amusement, Angel of Access, right? You have nothing to base this off of. Like BR is a massive disembodied voice out there in the ether with no physical form to speak of. No hint of it aside from like vague mentions to an ancient visage he used to take, right? And for you to come away with that is just, it's so funny to me, because it's like, damn, bro, talk about a long walk for a short drink of water. Just funny.
Hey, bro, I don't even know if he went that deep with it. He just said, "Hey, bro, I've heard a femboy that sounds like Ronin," and then bro made an association. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think She Her Lethality agreed too. That shit was kind of crazy. That shit was kind of nuts. I'm gonna be honest.
I mean, hey, bro,
but I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know what else. Like, I'm not, but you know, I'm not gonna take offense to it. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
Like I guess I should make it clear, you know, not on, if there's any listeners, no, not really, not on the market like that. Thanks, guys, but you know, appreciate the 2. Angel Access always coming in out of pocket, bro. Just like wherever the pocket is, he's not there.
Yep.
Never, ever.
Typical Angel of Accessism. Sleeping Danger, thank you for the 14. How is Mei a better gambler than Hikari? That's nuts. You know,
because Bumkari's a fraud.
Bro, I wouldn't put it past Mei to bet on Sukuna. Like, can we just be for real? Like,
I mean, we don't have to be for real, but yeah.
I mean, would you put it past her?
Yes.
You assume Mei is just like going to just be on Gojo's side.
Correct. Just some nerd. Thank you for the 5. Weird question, but how good would JJK be if Yuji and Yuta switch antagonists, like Geto for Yuji and Sukuna for Yuta, from a thematic standpoint? Oh, okay. I was about to say Geto puts Yuji in a fucking grave.
Yeah,
and then Sukuna does. And then I mean, like, I guess if Yuta's containing Sukuna, he doesn't. But
gonna be jealous.
I'm gonna be real, bro. Crazy. The king and queen of being the possessor of the king and queen of curses is kind of fucking nuts. Yuji and Geto thematically, I mean, I think you would just lead to like a very similar sort of dynamic where it's like they can't end up agreeing and shit. It's just like, okay, yeah, Geto, I get it. You think you're trying to save people through like, you know, your thing. I'm saving people regardless of whether or not they're a sorcerer. I'll just keep exercising curses as they keep cropping up. Right, et cetera, et cetera. You gave up because the curses overwhelmed you. I didn't. Blah blah blah. I don't know. I don't know if there's a lot of meat on the bones when it comes to like Or not Sukuna, but Yuji and Geto. Maybe there's a little bit more with Yuta and Sukuna. Maybe you could go like you could really, really lean into that cursed child narrative, right? Um, really kind of fuck him up like, oh man, he's got control over Rika. Let's give him Sukuna. You know what I mean? Really just kick him, not kick him while he's down, but as soon as he stands up, kick him back down. You know what I mean? One of them ones. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of you have any input or just cool?
I mean, basically the same thing. I would just, I don't know, man. I don't know if would Yuta be broken down in the same way with Shibuya as Yuji was. Yuta's just a little off kilter.
I mean,
like Yuji's a nicer,
nicer
guy.
I don't know, man. You killed Maki and Inumaki, he probably loses his shit. I mean, he did lose his shit even when they were fine.
Yeah, like I think Yuta's more insane than Yuji is to some extent. Like how do I put this? Like he didn't kill Ishigori and what's her face Uro because he needed their
Person
points.
A woman, don't need to remember that name.
Shut up.
That's crazy.
Anyway, so like he's not like he approached it in a very calculated way, but he just got this massive hang up about killing people, but Yuta doesn't really have that. So for him, I feel like he'd be bummed, but he'd be fine.
Yeah, no, you're delusional. If you think Yuta's gonna be fine after Maki and Inumaki,
if
you replace Nanami and
if you replace if it's no,
I'm saying because if it's people that he doesn't fuck with, it doesn't matter.
No, but
right?
Like Yuji was throwing up over like random innocent deaths, right? Like he was freaking out about Nanami with Mahito, right? But like as far as the Shibuya domain thing is concerned, I think Yuta would be bummed, but he'd be fine, right? But he definitely lose his mind at like the personal losses.
Yeah, but like Sukuna not does that to antagonize him, right? But like Sukuna just wouldn't bring him there in the first place because he knows it wouldn't bother Yuta. But like, like that's kind of the difference. But like if Mahito kills Inumaki, like, and we're assuming that Yuta's not strong enough to just stop this from happening, right? For the sake of like allowing the series to progress or in a similar fashion, that happens. Yuta is objectively losing his shit. He lost it when they weren't dead, right? He's like fucking gripping his face. He's like, oh, go. He's like Rika's behind him. He's like, I'll fucking kill you. Like, yeah, he's clearly lost it. He's gone, bro.
Yep.
He's nuts. He's bonkers. And like, I mean, Yuji is too when he sees Nanami die. It's just like there's just the problem with Yuta, right? Or the problem with kind of imagining Yuta in that situation is we haven't seen him like really desperate. Every time Yuta's been pressed, he's had an answer. He's like, oh fuck, you beat up my friends. Hold on, let me develop RCT. Yeah. Oh fuck, oh my god, Uzumaki, Rika, help me out real quick. I'm about to pose hard as fuck. You know what I mean? Like he hasn't been in a situation where he's been completely and entirely helpless on his own, like Yuji has. Yuji's been in those positions multiple times.
Yeah, I think also the problem with Yuta is like his natural strength barrier doesn't like. It would only ever be like Sukuna to get him that far because God help Kenjaku if he tried to do any of this shit, or Mahito, you know? Like it's such a I don't think Mahito would ever get as far as like distorted killing because I wouldn't put it past Yuta to just figure out how to hit the soul if he was angry enough. Like he's not untalented.
You're kind of glazing right now, but I mean, I'm gonna let you rock.
I mean, why would Yuta be incapable of it, right? Like there's no.
It's not really. It's not really the way you frame that sort of like question. Like hitting the soul is so abnormal. You would have to kind of give a reason why he could, right? Because like okay, Gojo can't hit the soul, right? He punches Mahito a couple of times. That shit don't matter. Like Gojo's super talented. He has a lot of potential. Blah blah blah. I mean, I think soul-based abilities or like interaction with the soul are beyond just like basic talent and skill or whatever, right? If that were the case, Gojo just run up to Mahito, rip his head off, blah blah blah. Like it's not just about those things. You typically need a very unique scenario or like very unique circumstance or just being Sukuna to do so.
I wonder if Mahito would have a resistance to positive cursed energy output, or if that would just bypass the soul thing. for Mahito because he's still
I
a
was
cursed
talking.
spirit, you know.
Yeah, I was talking about. Damn, bro, you just fucking you. I feel like you're just picking like memories from my head or some shit. But I was talking about this a little earlier. But like, I personally, like, I get why someone would think that Mahito does die from that. I personally think he survives. I know people take the Sukuna like, if I were a cursed spirit, you know, it would kill me, and like I think that's entirely true. But if Sukuna were a cursed spirit, he wouldn't suddenly develop idol transfiguration either.
Mm,
Um, you know what I mean? So like
maybe.
just because here's the analogy I gave, right?
Uh-huh.
Here's the analogy I gave. If Yuji sees an attack, right?
Mm,
Maybe it's like a basic dismantle and cleave. And
right.
he's like, "Fuck, bro. Any sorcerer would die from that." You don't then just assume Gojo would die just because Yuji said like, "Oh my god, if that hit me, I die." Cool. Do you have infinity? Or like if he slashed at me, I would just die, whatever, right? It's like, okay, cool. Sure, Yuji's saying that, and that's true for Yuji, but apply some curse technique context and shit changes for Gojo. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Um, and like Mahito does say that his entire body can be just like obliterated, but like so long as his will is intact, he can just reform himself. You know what I mean?
mm,
I mean that's basically why we don't see characters like Mekamaru with like really high power level just like one shot him and get rid of him. Like Nanami tries it, right? He crushes him beyond belief. Like if a cursed spirit was that deformed, like how Mahito was, like your head's obviously crushed beyond belief, your body's disfigured and mangled and like barely even together, if at all.
mm.
You would just die, right? Like Dagon dies from a couple of stabs to the head. But Mahito doesn't really need his physical form to be intact in any meaningful capacity because his soul is, and then he just reforms it from there.
Mm. Okay.
Sukuna's soul is stronger than Mahito's. That doesn't matter though. The reason that doesn't matter is because Sukuna can be killed by physical damage alone. Mahito can't. So just because Sukuna has a really strong soul doesn't mean he can come back from like having like you cut off Sukuna's head, right? You then blow it up with no soul imbued abilities. He just dies, right? You do the same thing with Mahito, he objectively doesn't. You know what I mean? That's the difference, even if he does have a stronger soul.
I think for me, it, it it can be explained either way, right? Like it could just be a blind spot that Mahito can't soul overcome just because it's like antithetical to how you exist as a curse, right? Like you almost need to take that damage, right? If Gege chooses to explain it that way, or it could be like you said, right, where like if it's not an attack on the soul, he'll be fine either way. The thing is, like, both are very plausible for Mahito, but it's not something Gege like just addresses. So it's just gonna have to exist in like a weird limbo state.
Yeah. In any case, Mahi goat.
Yeah.
Um,
Anyway, just some nerd. Thank you for the 5. No, we already read that. We already read that, bro. I almost messed up and reread it, but ooh, bullet dodge. Okay, I think we caught up to the super chats. We caught up to the super chats, and this is good. This is very good. Um,
yeah.
Sleeping Danger
And
does
it's like,
bring up something interesting. Yeah, does domain amplification
yes.
work on Mahito?
Yeah, of course it does. The problem is it doesn't like it's sort of like fighting Gojo with domain amplification. You have to be really good at it, like Suguna level good for it to really help the way you want it to. And the reason I say that is just because like okay, you damage Mahito, it's like fuck, dude. Like now that I can't reshape my soul while you're in contact with me, this punch really hurts. Too bad when you don't make contact, I get my technique back. You know what I mean? It's one
Yeah.
of those things where it's like okay, yes, while you're hitting me, you're hurting me. Good thing my technique, like when I can activate it, allows me to kind of reverse that. Um,
Do you think
it's
the
like
amount of cursed energy he uses to heal wounds is the same? Like it's a flat fee, or do you think it scales to the damage?
probably scales to the damage. The thing is, though, Nanami brings this up, and I'm gonna be honest. I probably think there are maybe 3 characters who can run Mahito out of cursed energy. I think most other characters in the story, and I'm just talking about purely like you're trying to win a war of attrition, right? There are probably more than 3 characters that can beat him. Well, yeah, of course there are, right? But like, I'm gonna put a pin in that. I don't know why I feel hesitant to say that just because of Mahito's soul abilities, but I like probably, right? But like, I was like doing research for this Mahito video, right? And I'm like, this motherfucker had to have spanned his technique thousands of times during Shibuya, right? Because obviously he makes 1,000 transfigured humans and dumps them in Shibuya that Gojo takes on. Then Gojo doesn't even touch like any of the transfigured humans outside of B5F. Mahito obviously then has his own stored transfigured humans, right? Heals a shit ton of times because he's fighting Yuji or whatnot. Obviously using his technique against Todo, Nobara's resonance, the clone, domain expansion, new form. Like, I don't know, man. There are not very many characters that I think you're gonna argue like, oh my god, I'm just going to hit Mahito thousands of times, like hit him so like I'm just gonna beat Mahito up relentlessly so that he uses technique thousands of times and then just dies. Like shit. Yeah. You gotta have some you better bring some friends, you better have some stamina, brother.
Or armor or something, bro. Like I don't know, I feel like if there's a way to weaponize that passive protective layer that Nanami did on that first encounter, I mean, you just sort of
That's a protective layer. What do you mean?
Like, you know how when Mahito first tries to do idle transfiguration on Nanami, like in their first encounter, Nanami has this like, he just like passively resists like subconsciously, and it's just like it's more or less implied that it's like a one and done thing. Like Nanami could basically never do that again. I wonder if there is a way to do that consciously. Like if you're Gojo, I'm sure you could develop an ability like that. Okay, obviously if you didn't have the infinity.
Jesus Christ,
right?
You're glazing, bro.
No, but like even Yuta could probably like do something like that.
I mean, subconsciously, but you'd have to like learn about your soul.
Exactly.
Like, yeah. Maybe if Yuki gave you her book or some shit. But Gojo's not just like develop. He's like, you know what, bro? Yeah, no, I'm just protecting my soul with cursed energy intentionally. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Mahito's one-shotting like Yuta with it because Yuta has so much cursed energy, subconsciously protecting it. Might be all of Nanami's reserves or some shit, right?
Right. And also like,
but I don't
know.
Yeah.
With Mahito's I don't even know what you call it. His core form, like his original form, I feel is like a more annoying fight than distorted killing. If you still outclass, like if you're Yuta, right, you generally outclass Mahito despite his evolution in like the base stats. So it's arguably an easier fight that he can't use idle transfiguration on himself in that form.
Let me ask you something. I'm kind of curious. And I'm not gonna argue. I'm just gonna like take your opinion at like face value. Do you think that Yuji is like as physically capable as Yuta is, like immediately following Shibuya?
No.
Do you take like Yuji dodging sword slashes at any like at any value?
No. We're just playing Rika,
okay.
You know? Like he said it himself, you know.
Like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Like I'll put it to you like this,
cool,
right?
Cool.
Like I see something like Ishigori punching Rika, and it's the same Rika that held Yuji down, like to the point where he just couldn't resist at all. And I immediately am like, yeah, no, this tells me that Ishigori's got some like the output is high overall, you know? Like that same punch would probably like pulverize a large majority of the JJK cast.
Okay, yeah, cool. I agree. I'm just curious. And yeah, I mean, ISB is particularly good. I mean, the reason he needs ISB is like for Yuji because the only reason he wants extra physical durability is against someone who can hurt him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like fit extra physical durability against Yuta is like useless. Like, okay, let's say you could stop. Like, he's not taking real damage either way, right? It's like, oh no, you cut me and I'm fine, or oh no, you didn't cut me and I'm fine. It's like, yeah, no, the versatility is definitely better.
Yeah,
versatility is definitely better.
Yuta's a versatility v versatility kind of like that. That's his counter almost. Like, being a one-trick pony against somebody like Yuta or even Sukuna, it just is so. It's just such an uphill battle, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know, because I did mention the Ishigori things. I just want to pick your brain about that. I think I brought it up to you before, but would you consider Ishigori to be like special grade if he was a sorcerer?
Absolutely not.
Really?
Probably not even close. No.
What holds him back, and B, using Geto as like the weakest special grade. What criteria does Geto meet that Ishigori doesn't?
The basic idea is just like Ishigori just isn't really strong enough and his technique is too simple. He doesn't have a high enough potential ceiling, right? He can't get much stronger than what he is right now due to his technique. Like his technique doesn't allow for that. I'll put it like this, right? His whole thing is he hits really hard, and so does Granite Blast, right? Cool. He's a significantly inferior Yuki, right?
I see.
You're redundant, but you don't even have that ceiling that she does, right? So you're kind of ass. Like Yuki's punching off Kenjaku's arms. Yuta's getting like going through a full choreographed combo with Ishigori and bleeding from his mouth after he gets hit. You know what I mean? Like Ishigori shoots out Granite Blast. Yuta puts his hands out and he palms it.
I mean,
like
it goes,
obviously
it goes
when he's
through
getting
the arm. It goes through his entire arm though. Like it comes out from his elbow, the blast. Then he heals it. But yeah.
I'm pretty sure he like Ishigori literally just says he deflected it with his bare hands.
I mean,
he just says that verbatim.
Here, let me pull.
Like it's if you here, I'll show you. If you look at it, it literally is spreading out. And I'll send it to you, not the fucking group chat.
Okay.
It's spreading out. Like look at the top panel. It's spreading out around Yuta as the epicenter.
Oh god.
It's not going through his hands.
Huh,
he even punches it after, right? And like I think he loses a pinky. Or he loses like a couple of his fingers, right?
I see.
But like even then, he's attacking and it doesn't fucking disfigure him that badly.
It's so odd. I always saw this coming out of the other side of his arm. Huh.
Yeah. So like, unless you think Yuta and Yuki, right, punch fists and Yuta's arm is intact, Ishigori's he's not worth shit really, right? The thing about Geto is like, one, he's probably at bare minimum as physically competent as Ishigori. Like maybe even more so, because he's like he was like 2v1ing a Yuta, granted more inexperienced Yuta, but also like a significantly stronger Rika, like from the jump, right? Whereas Ishigori's kind of closer to being a hand-to-hand relative to Yuta individually or whatever, right? And then you just have like the curse spirits and shit, just being able to like overwhelm characters. So yeah, like I don't think. I like the only thing that you can really say about Ishigori that he has above someone like Geto is like a domain, but Geto had like he already showed in the hidden inventory even when he's like much more of a scrub, he had cursed spirits that can like put out domains as well. So if he even needs to like clash or some shit, he probably has something in the toolkit. So he just like Ishigori he just doesn't really have the specs for that. I wouldn't consider Uro special grade. Kashima would only temporarily be a special grade in his with his curse technique. I don't think base Kashima should be a special grade either. So yeah, like that's kind of how I view it. That's kind of how I view it.
I see. All right. I mean, that's yeah. I mean, out of all of them, like I don't even know if Yorozu is the closest one that makes the cut, but like
I think I don't know. Maybe you think more highly of Yorozu than I do. I don't think Yorozu.
Okay. I mean, my main beef is like, I guess. Okay, would you say that Geto got his special grade ranking because of potential, just potential alone, or like what he was bringing to the table?
Probably. I mean, it's just curse spirit manipulation gives you an infinite ceiling in a very similar way to having Rika and all that curse energy does. I think it's something like that.
Because like for me, I'm thinking like
which is like.
The no CRT, the no domain, it's just like, well, at the very least Ishigori has a domain, right? Like he has more cursed energy or higher cursed energy output than Geto, and if we're being honest, he could probably like without Playful Cloud, he could probably beat Geto up hand to hand, right? And like tank a lot of Geto's attacks, but the only difference would just be like Geto's versatility, which I guess versatility is like the main thing that they prioritize. So maybe that's the case, but like overall, I think Ishigori is just pretty much a superior sorcerer.
No, absolutely not. Geto kind of waxes Ishigori. I'm gonna be honest, but
really?
like pretty like yeah, because Geto just has capabilities that are not inferior to Ishigori, so he's scrapping with him, right? And then he just spams him with cursed spirits, right? That are like just like bombarding him with bullshit, ignoring his high grade ones. You know what I mean? Like keep in mind, the Geto I'm talking about that's fighting Yuta, like and a stronger Rika,
right,
is also fighting a war across Japan. You know what I mean? Like that's the motherfucker we're talking about. We're not talking about some guy who deployed all of his curse spirits. Like, okay, here keep in mind, right?
Okay.
This is like for all intents and purposes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just Kinjaku with no open barrier domain or gravity, right? It's just the same guy. Same build, same curse energy, right? Like as per Gojo saying it himself, like that's the motherfucker we're talking about, right? And it's like I don't know if I think like if you okay, but like this, right? You restrict like just the easiest way to think about it, because maybe it's ghetto, the thought of like volume 0 ghetto hanging it up, right? You put Kinjaku with you say, hey, don't use your open barrier domain, don't use your fucking whatchamacallit, your gravity technique, right? You think Ishigori's beating him up?
Okay, that's fair. Because I don't
Right? Because nothing changes. They're the
Yeah.
same person, same build.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, that's just how I view it, right? It's like
For me, like
okay,
the main thing is like that statement about Ishigori's blast being stronger than the one he and Getzo were doing. Like, I'm just like, okay, that's probably he probably wouldn't. The blast would still be weaker than 10,000, Curse Spirit Getzo potentially, right? But if it's over, 5 or 6, then it's like.
And like keep in mind, right? You like before Yuta sort of indulged him, his strat was just like, okay, cool, that's your max output. I won't let you get there, right? Ishigori fucking conned him into like clashing in a more honest sense, right? Like the whole thing is like because keep in mind, right? It's one of two things, right? Either the Granite Blast can be tanked by someone of Yuta's level and Rika's level, or in order for like him to get that max output that surpasses like a fucking like the Eureka Blast, right? Which keep in mind, the Eureka Blast that Volume 0 Yuta used was a binding vow with his life in the balance, right? A binding vow that'll take a crow from a crow to something that can one-shot a special grade curse. Like, just keep in mind, that's the binding vow Yuta put on himself, right? This Yuta is just doing this shit. He just, there's no binding vow as far as we know. It's just cursed energy shit, right? So not only is there that unquantifiable amp, but Ishigori also takes time to charge his max blast, apparently, right?
Right.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's dicey. I got you.
Yeah. And as for like this is kind of a hot take, I guess. I don't think Yorozu is like really all that strong. Like okay, people like to use the Sukuna thing, and I get it, I understand it. But here's the same argument I made there, or I've made before, right? I'll make here. It's like Yorozu is not in any capacity relative to Sukuna based on what we've seen. One, if you think so, I have a bridge to sell you. But two, it's like a lot of the things can be explained through like not even implications, like very objective things that we know to be the case, right? So does Sukuna get hit before bringing out the wheel? No, right? Okay, that's first thing. He then brings out the wheel, right? Which we know requires you to get hit in order to adapt, right? Then gets hit and then brings out Maharaga, right? So if your argument is like, oh, she's relative to Sukuna and speed, she like tagged him twice and whatnot, it's like, okay, but she tagged the guy who's trying to take Maharaga's like adaptability switching like on a test run. You know what I mean?
Right. That's.
And it's like, yeah, and then there's the Uro statement, right? There's the okay, she defeated a squad with that was like as strong as Uros. Cool, right? That's great. And you're thinking, oh my god, like a squad of Uros? It's like, that's not really how JJK squads end up being, right? Take the Hay, for example, right? The motherfuckers that like in the Zenin. You got one notable guy and then a bunch of fodder, right?
Yeah.
Or take like the squad that like I think that's the squad that Naoya led. You had Naoya who actually I won't say was pressing Maki, but like could land hit. And then he had his fucking goons. You know what I mean? Like if that's the difference between a squadron leader and their underlings, what Yorozu really did is beat someone on Uro's level, which okay, that's good. Like Uro's a strong character, don't get me wrong, but you beat someone on Uro's level. That's a significantly different thing than like being a top 10 character in the verse. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a fair argument. That's a fair argument. Whew.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Also, somebody asked me, let's see, when is the Glorious Goat Mahito video dropping, gang? Dropping on Thursday, brother. dropping on Thursday. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, Chad. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm still editing the audio and shit, right? But as I was editing it, I got more ideas, right? And I said, usually with a full potential video like this, I'll be like, fuck, I'll just have to leave it, right? Cutting it too close. You know, don't want to add too much. I went back, I added a 5-minute section.
Of course you
Something tells me I got a couple more 5-minute sections in me. I'm gonna be real, chat. This video may end up longer than the initial recording. That would be actually insane. But hopefully it's not. It's looking like it. Like, I'll say this: I'm 20 minutes into the video, and I have like 2 segments left to cut down. One of which being 13 minutes unedited. It's looking like it might be a long video, bruh. It's looking like it might be like. It looks like it might be a 30 to 40 bomb. Can I be honest? It's looking like it might be a 30 to 40 bomb, bro. And for context, I think my second longest full potential video is like Jogo's, which is like 22 minutes. So it might be double Jogo's. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm gonna be honest. I had a lot to say. I had a song in my heart and I had to sing it.
Yeah, bro. And I'm the Glazer. All right, that's whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, you are.
I'm just, you're just following.
I'm glad you
passions,
admitted that,
bro.
though.
You're just following your passions. It's whatever.
Exactly. I'm acknowledging peak.
Bro, I don't know. Just unrelated. I guess like I announced this on Twitter like a couple hours ago, but next Creams video is kind of in the works now, and I need to make it for my own sanity, just to justify the amount of isekai that I've watched in the last 3 weeks. Like the number settled in when I picked up the one that I started watching today, which was like the world's greatest assassin got reincarnated as an aristocrat, and
I'm sorry. No. You're joking.
Like
what? Say that title again. Say that title again.
The world's best assassin got reincarnated as an aristocrat.
Okay, so I thought I heard that. I thought I heard that. I'm gonna use the bathroom, brother. Okay. I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'm gonna take 5.
Take 5.
You got this.
Okay. Anyway, yes, guys, Cream's video. The jokes are flying. I get it. But like, man, if I was to count how many isekai I've watched in the last 3 weeks, no, 2 weeks, right? We're so dangerously close to double digits, right? Thank God isekai is a relatively new genre in like the grand scheme of things, and a lot of these are just incomplete or don't have more than like 1 or 2 seasons. I think the isekai that I've watched with the most seasons so far is Overlord, or maybe Slime. They're like tied at 4. Either way, I've just been plowing through all of them, man. And I finished up So I'm a Spider, So What a couple days ago. Now I'm on... Jeez, bro. What am I on right now? I forgot to... Oh, no, I'm on Assassin. That's the one I just named. So let me give you guys like the short tally, right? Little honored one sneak peek. So I watched... God, some of these fucking titles. Demon Lord gets like reincarnated and has to go to school with his descendants. I've watched The Wise Man's Grandchild, So I'm a Spider, So What. God, what were the other ones? Jesus, bro. I've just been plowing through these. Mashoko Tensei, ReZero. Eminence Part 2, Sleeping Danger. You got to get on that. Eminence in Shadow is peak. It's absolutely peak. Can't recommend it enough. I did finish ReZero, Grim Reaper. It was fantastic. I think it's up there next to Slime as my favorite isekai right now. So I think I have a couple more isekai homeworks to get through. Call it essentials, right? I also watched Goblin Slayer. Not an isekai, but still like a fantasy series. It's just, it's fun. It's fun. God, I think the next isekai on my short list after Assassin are gonna be... I might watch the Realist Hero Rebuild Civilization or some shit. I forgot the full name of it. Basically, the shtick is like he's just like a realist guy without any overpowered abilities. I don't even know, man. I don't even know anymore. I'm just getting lost in the sauce. Watch Slime, watch ReZero, watched Overlord, watch Mushoku Tensei, and Eminence. Yeah, I think I'm basically caught up on the essentials. I'm caught up enough on the essentials, and I've thrown a few curveballs in there. where I feel confident enough about making my video. Bro, Overlord was like the first one I watched to ROM 77. Let's see. Goblin Slayer fun is nuts. It's God, it's so Goblin Slayer is insane. Goblin Slayer is just like I don't even know how to describe. Like I think I enjoyed Goblin Slayer. It's I didn't hate it. The characters were more or less charming, especially when he asked them for help. That was a cute scene. Um, Speaking of Berserk, Berserk of Gluttony is on there as another fantasy series. I don't know if it's an isekai. I'm just curious about it. There are some isekai that I dropped because they were just so dog shit. The how Demon Lord retry was so boring. Just couldn't get into it. The worst one I've ever watched that I had to drop almost immediately was the Irregular at Magic High School. Horrible show. Horrible series. Just genuinely.
That wasn't right up your alley, brother.
No, it was awful. It was awful. I couldn't bear with it. God, dude.
You watched Goblin Slayer. What do you think about that?
Fun asterisk. The goblins themselves are so like, yeah, bro. I get it. I get why you're slaying the goblins. Shit, bro. I'll join your party. I'll pick up the sword too, right? But the characters themselves are pretty charming. At least like as far as Goblin Slayer's party, like they're cool. They're bros. And Goblin Slayer asking for help was really sweet. Like the whole what do you call it, guild helping him defend his farm was a cool sequence.
Hey, bro, Demon Akatsu is saying Goblin Slayer is just Berserk but without any good writing. You gonna what?
I'm not
let that shit slide?
Yeah, I'm not caping for Goblin Slayer like
it's
that.
It's okay.
Yeah. God, bro. I have seen the Suicide Isekai trailer. I don't know if I'd be interested. I'm not a huge fan of the Suicide Squad in general, let alone in an isekai. They're just all different variations of gymnastics with guns. God, bro, this one that I'm watching right now, the assassin one, I'm so nervous about it. Like I'm a couple episodes into it, and I'm just not. I don't feel good. Apparently it's written by the same guy who did Redo of Healer. So every time there's like, yeah, every time like, and by the way, like I don't know if y'all know this Creams lore, bro. Redo of Healer is the worst anime manga I have ever watched in my life. I dropped it after 2-3 episodes because I felt like throwing up. It was so grimy that it was so grimy and so nasty, but and lacked any semblance of interest. It was just so mean spirited. Like it was just dog shit, dude. And just like the subject matter was awful. Like it was just bad. And so getting into this was, ugh, bro, ugh. DDS Soifit, thank you for the 5. BR got me to read Sakamoto Days, and he was right. That shit is peak. Yes. It is peak, bro.
Yeah, shut up. Jesus, you almost ruined my mood, bro. Shut up. You don't get to talk about Sakamoto Days and you're not caught up. Sakamoto Days is peak. Now, quickly, it's time to take a quick break from this isekai slop and talk about Sakamoto Days and Kagurabachi, all right? Give me 2 seconds of your time. All right, so Sakamoto Days, I mean, y'all know what it is, right? Y'all know what it is. Shit was peak. Shit was great. Sakamoto's finally shown up, right? He's popped up. Y'all know it's about to get real. Y'all know it's about to get real. I'm waiting for the order to do some shit. I need that, bro. I need it in my bloodstream expeditiously. I'm going to be honest. But Sakamoto Days is great in a very Sakamoto Days way. Very obviously so. Kagurabachi, I'm going to be honest, bro. I'm going to be honest. They keep elevating. They keep elevating in a way that's making me think, are you the one? I don't know, man. I don't know. I've been waiting for something that I could genuinely get hype about that's new week to week to week. And I'm not going to say pick it up yet, right? Y'all know me. I don't like to be an overhyper. I do not. If I'm going to put my stocks in something, I like it to be good. Am I personally investing? Yes. Am I telling you to invest? Not yet. You can if you want. I'm just saying if it can survive the axe, because apparently I don't know how that shit works. I just if it dies, it dies type shit, right? I don't really know. But if it can survive the axe, me thinks we got a good manga on our hands. Can I be honest? Can I be honest? Kagura, listen, bro. Listen, man. Kagurabachi looking real cool. First of all, the art is fucking like cooking really well. Sojo, Jiro are looking like they might be a 1-2 punch protagonist, antagonist that Shonen Jump might have needed. It might be some new blood that we might have needed, right? I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. It's looking a little great. You know what I mean? Like, am I gonna say it's great with my chest fully right now? Maybe not. I'm gonna say it's looking a little great. I'm gonna be honest. It's looking really good. Sojo's moving the needle for me, bro. I'm genuinely surprised that like 13 chapters. I'm like, damn, is this real villainry? And the answer that I've been getting so far is yes. So I'm excited, man. This is really good.
Yeah,
this is really, really entertaining to me.
I'm happy for you, bro. I've been in a black hole of sorts, like the better part of a month now. I think getting this video out is the only way to justify the time I've invested. There's only like 5 isekai really worth watching. And call that like the cautious guide, man. Call that the cautious guide. I'm not gonna lie to you, chat. There's like a non-zero chance I'm gonna be doing that video without like a drink of some kind in hand.
Okay, bro. Okay, hold on, real quick. I'm gonna address the insanity you just said. Velvet. Cool for everybody. Me thinks you convinced me. Yes, sir. I think someone said. Substrat. I read manga occasionally, and hearing BR glazing Sakamoto and Kagurabachi almost makes you want to pick one up. Which one's better? Read Sakamoto Days. Like 100%, 10 times out of 10, 100 times out of 100, 1,000 times out of 1,000, a million times out of a million. Read Sakamoto Days first. Kagurabachi's really good. Sakamoto Days is not only more established, so we basically know it's not getting the axe, right? It's just better. It's like it has more time to get its footing. It's not a diss to Kagurabachi. That's Sakamoto Days promo. I mean, if you can like hands, if you like fighting, if you like cool slice of life bullshit.
You can do both, by the way. Kagurabachi's like 12 chapters.
You can do both, but listen, bro. He said he reads manga occasionally. I'm gonna respect his time, okay? Right, I'm not gonna tell him to read more than he wants to read. Okay. Damn, bro.
Okay.
Damn. Can we respect our viewers'
lawyer? What's going on?
Respect our viewers' time, bro.
God, bro.
Like I'm just saying, bro. You're just imposing.
Hell, what's
like,
your retainer, bro? Do you charge by hour?
I'm
like,
just
what's
saying,
going
bro.
on?
I'm just saying, like all I'm saying is, motherfucker said he has time to read one manga. You said just read both. No, don't tell him what to do if you don't want to do it, bro. If you only got the time to read one manga, Sakamoto Days is right there. That's all I'm saying. Damn, bro. Trying to tell him, hey, bro, pick up One Piece, bro. Pick up Hajime no Ippo, bro. Bro, pick up. Nah, he don't got time for that, bro. Let him read what he wants to read. That's all I'm saying. I think we have some.
Yeah, Mazani, thank you for the 2. Is it true Kagurabachi might get axed? Is it? I haven't heard.
I mean, it's in Shonen Jump. It could get axed any time, right? It hasn't crossed like that 50 to 100 chapter threshold where I could say basically no. Yeah. So I can't tell.
M3D too. What do y'all think of Shadow Eliminator? What's Shadow Eliminators? Let me look this up.
New manga. I haven't read it. I'm gonna be honest. I looked at the main character. He did not pass the aura check. Can I be honest? I looked at him and I said, "You're not garbage, but I'm not moved either." I think Twitter account Shads has been like reading it and liking it, which is basically a pretty good cosign. But I don't know. I haven't been moved to take that plunge just yet. So I can't really give you the go ahead. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah. I can't really give you the go ahead. I just looked at him. I said, nah. I need a greater cosign. And I just haven't got one yet. But I'm sure it's. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I've heard the art's good. You know what I mean? Aura check is crazy. You ain't fuck with the design. No, the design's cool, right? The design is pretty cool. Solid, cool looking main character. But it didn't okay. If you think about it like this, right? I have to desire to read it more than I have to desire to do literally anything else. And he just didn't pass that threshold for me, right? So that's why I haven't read it. I'm not particularly disinterested, but it's like, if you got to get over the 50 points for Aura, right? Who is maybe at 35, right? Not shit, not bad, but okay, you didn't get over that hump. You know what I mean? That's all it is.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Did he have sword tax? No, he didn't as well. Like that probably could have given him the 15 points he needed to get over the hump, but he didn't have sword tax. He is a shadow manipulator though. So like that is part of the reason he got to 35 in the first place. Well, I imagine he is, right? It's called Shadow Eliminators. I sure as shit hope he is. But, it is what it is.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
That video is going to be what it is. I'll figure out like the finer details soon. I want to try to get it out by the end of the year as like a personal fun challenge for myself. But otherwise, yeah.
Okay. Okay, we can expect that for sure. You love to see it.
I don't know if I said for sure like I don't know if I had binding vow energy behind what I said, but
no, that's binding vow. Like that is binding. Like if you don't chat, let's see. What's a series you really don't want to read, brother? What's a series you really don't want to read, brother? Man, I'll work on it, right? I'll work on the upside. The binding vow will be whatever I decide it is. But if you don't, just know something crazy's coming up. Something crazy's coming up. Or a merchant. That's crazy. Doesn't he have a sword in the first chapter? I don't know, bruh. Hey, listen, he doesn't have a sword on the little like Shonen Jump thing where it shows you like all of the series, right? Which means as far as I'm concerned right now, he don't got sword tax. Wait, hold on though. This is important information. He has a sword in the manga? He has a sword in the manga? He has a sword. Hold on. Hansel Legato said that's a complete ripoff of Persona 5, by the way.
Really? Huh. Okay,
yeah,
I'll peep. I'll do that vibe.
Yeah, bro. I like. Your bro said he has a sword and it's Persona 5, and we're like, consider me intrigued. I'm not gonna lie.
They got us, bro. They got us figured out.
Oh, hold on. Hello, have you joined us? Thank you for being a member for 5 months. Slowly transitioning to my Hajime no Ippo addiction. I found myself dodging and weaving IRL like I was in the ring with bro. Thanks, BR. No problem, brother. No problem. Listen, you don't know how much it warms my heart to get another person addicted to Hajime no Ippo. Shit's, bro. Ooh, that moment where you're shadow boxing. You ain't never did that shit in your life. You shadow boxing in your room. You're like, oh, fuck. That's crazy. Yeah, nah, bro. That's an amazing feeling. That's got to be an amazing feeling. I know how it feels. I'm so happy for you. Genuinely, bro. It's just kind of crazy.
Nice.
But
nice.
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Got any closing thoughts or miscellaneous things you wanna like rattle off here?
Not particularly. Not off the top of my head. I guess. Yeah, no, I mean, members look forward to this upcoming Thursday.
Yeah. And the next 2 Thursdays after that, you can kind of go into cruise control. And then you can get excited again 4 weeks from now when we do Honored Ones After Dark proper. I'm excited about that, man.
Yeah, I can tell, man.
Yes.
If you were me, I'd say cruise control it out, but it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool.
Okay. We will see you guys, members, Thursday. Everybody else will see you on Sunday with the new chapter. Let's go.